Do you feel fulfilled in life? The show will begin in 4 minutes. Are you ready? When was the last time you felt betrayed? When was the last time you felt loved? The show will begin in 3 minutes. Are you ready? What did it feel like to be in love? What is the most painful part of being in love? The show will begin in 2 minutes. Are you ready? Are you ready to be transformed? Are you ready to make a change? The show will begin in 1 minute. I hope you're ready. The show will begin in exactly 30 seconds. Get ready. Have you ever wondered why the men you meet on dating apps are the worst type of men? Isn't it strange how the men who are supposed to be the most ready for a relationship end up being the ones the least capable of having one? The answer will definitely horrify you, but it will enlighten you, which is exactly why on today's show, we're going to be discussing how men trick you on dating apps so that you can be one step ahead of the games men play and avoid getting played by them. Welcome to the Players Club. If you're paying attention to me and everyone else in the live stream, Please say here present so that I know you're here present and actively participating. Welcome to the show, everyone. How are you guys doing? We're going to have lots of fun on today's episode here because we got a lot to discuss. We're going to go about it a little bit differently today, and I'm going to show you guys some examples. Those of you who are on YouTube seeing the title of the show and you see me say with examples, it's going to be a very interesting day. We got Sharice here, we got Scotty here, we got Aset here, Zyra here, Curiosity here, Sharil here, Cans here, Minnie here, Adorable here. Much more in the TikTok chat. Who we got over in the YouTube chat? We got Nicole here. We got Ivy here. We got Tracy Niles, one of our amazing channel members. And shout out to Ivy, who's been one of our channel members. We got Red Pill Queen. Viola is here. Iris is here. Who was like first today? Who were some of the first people up in the chat today? Of course, with Tracy Niles was one of the first. And Irina, I already shouted out. We have Cameron B here. Welcome all you beautiful people. So glad to have you here. So glad to spend this time with you. And I love spending this time with you. Also, shout out to Venom as well, who is one of our amazing channel members. Shout out to all the channel members and subscribers. I appreciate you all. And I'll make sure I give you guys some special content as well. Okay. So Sharice says, how's Missy America? She's doing better. She was here yesterday. I don't know if you were here yesterday, Sharice, but she was here yesterday. And Missy America is doing better. Okay. She just has Fridays off. Okay. So today we got a scary one for all of you. We're going to be discussing how men trick you on dating apps. However, I want you to be aware today's going to be a very special episode. You know, I like to shake things up. We don't keep things the same all the time. So you're not just going to hear from me. See, this is the really weird part about algorithms is that they show you the things that pertain to you. So it's very hard to see the other side of what other people are doing when they're not in your bubble. That's how algorithms work. I'm going to do you a favor and help you see from the men's perspective the way they're going about dating apps. So you're going to hear me talk about it, but you're also going to see the videos being served to the men you're matching with on dating apps. So this is going to be a very, very enlightening experience for all of you. Okay. And I want to make you all aware of this, right? This is going to be very important that you guys all understand this. Now, so first things first, we're going to be addressing quality over quantity. Okay. And I rearranged that. It's quantity over quality for the men. Now, I need you to grasp this because I know when you're swiping on your dating apps, you might be very careful and meticulous about reading every single prompt and going through every single little thing and making sure that, do I like this guy? Do I like the way that he looks? Do I like the way that he lives his life? And you're like going one at a time. And every single one is like, really, you're taking it as a whole potential partner. Unfortunately, the men that you're dating are not taking it that same way. They're not going for quality over quantity. They're going for quantity over quality, meaning they're trying to swipe right on the most possible women that they can, capture the most possible matches that they can, and then in the process of capturing all those matches, they're gonna use the process of elimination, which is essentially talking to every single girl that they possibly can and seeing who interacts with them and who bites the bait is what the guys are gonna call it or refer to it as, and then they're gonna use that as the process of elimination. So they start by swiping right on everyone or just swiping on as many girls as they possibly can, and then they use the process of some girls aren't gonna be that interested, some girls aren't gonna say yes to a date right away. Some girls aren't going to let you just come over on the first night. They use that process as eliminating. Now, the reason I want to tell you all this and share this all with you is not to bash dating apps, and it's not to say that you're a horrible person if you use a dating app, because I understand why you use dating apps to get to know people and meet new people that can be single. But I just want you to understand, because I know some of you come to me and you're frustrated with your dating life and you're frustrated with the type of men that you're continuously meeting. So I'm using this show as an opportunity to help enlighten you as to what might be some of the reasons you continue to encounter the same type of men, and help you understand the strategy that's going on, unbeknownst to you, meaning the strategy that's going on that you don't know about. That way you can understand when men approach you this particular way, or when they talk to you this particular way, you can understand it's not coincidence that you feel like you're meeting the same type of guy over and over again. And when you understand the strategy, it'll make it that much easier to kind of combat the strategy and work against it, or to get what you want out of it, okay? So we're going to do something very special today, like I said, and right from the jump here, we're going to be hopping into some YouTube videos where we're going to be watching. This is going to be a watch along today, and we're going to be watching some YouTube videos, and this is going to be a very, very scary sight for some of you, okay? The purpose of today here, and we're going to be watching some YouTube videos where you're going to get the opportunity. Let me pull up my YouTube here. Okay, let's see. Okay, let me pull up the right link for you guys. Okay, and I'm gonna go to this. Let me cancel that. Don't worry, we're gonna get some stuff. Okay, there we go. All right. So this is going to be a very interesting day today, and I hope that you're going to learn some things here. Let me make sure that this is the same thing on here. All right, so everyone has the right clip. Boy, I'm going to show you, okay, today, I'm going to show you, I have a little playlist for you all, and I'm going to show you some of these videos that are men talking to other men about how they use dating apps. So we're going to go through our first point, which is quantity over quality, and why a lot of guys, they're just swiping as much as they possibly can to get as many matches as they can without actually thinking about, the quality of those matches. So we're going to start off with this video, which comes from a creator. His name is Evan, okay? And the title of his video, if for those of you who can see it here, it says, I swiped on Tinder 143,489 times. Here's what happened. Okay. So obviously this is a challenge video and he's creating a challenge, but I want us to listen together to, we're not going to watch the whole video together, but I just want you to listen to some of the things discussed in this video, some of the reasoning and the logic, because he's trying to teach a lesson here. So let's watch this along together and let's see what Evan has to say in his video about him swiping over almost 150,000 times. Okay.
I find it to be a match made in heaven, which is probably why I didn't get many matches in the first place. But I don't know if you know this, but legally speaking, all of these online dating apps that y'all use, they have to give you all the data that they hold on you if you request it. That's thanks to GDPR. And so your boy requested all of his data. I've been using all these dating apps for a very, very long time, since college even. Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, and the like. I used to use loads more, but those seem to be the big three that most people use. Now, strap yourself.
So he's gonna give you a little rundown of the three apps that he's using. He's using all three, and he's essentially going to be swiping on all three for the purpose of this video. Let me make sure that let me add in my TikTok chat here. See browser, TikTok chat. There we go. I just want to make sure my TikTok chat is here as well. Oops. Put that in the wrong place. Move TikTok chat. This is going to be a very interesting video, guys, and I want to make sure you guys all get a chance to see what's going on here. Okay, so we got the YouTube chat and our TikTok chat alike. Should be all here. Can't see the YouTube chat. One second. Okay, perfect. All right, so let's watch Evan's video here.
Running in, because I think this is going to be one of the most interesting videos I've come up with. I'm going to be parsing and going through all of the data that was provided to me by Tinder, Bumble, and Hinge to see what is the most effective app for getting me matches, relationships, and whatnot, and or which has the best experience over time. Now, first off, right off the bat, we're going to be going with Tinder. Now, I've been using Tinder the longest. Also, I should just clarify, I'm no longer on dating apps because I found someone. We've been going pretty steady actually. No arguments, not one.
So
that's a red flag.
I'm going to skip ahead here where he talks about his Tinder and analysis, his dating app analysis, and the quantity kind of ratio here.
1,416 days. I chatted 179 days. And on 153 of these days, I literally opened the app, I didn't swipe or chat. Oh my God, at one point, it looks like I had 50 times in a day I opened that app. Sometimes you get real desperate, guys. You've reached the swipe limit 29 times. What can I say? Jesus. My most active days were Saturday, and my least active were Friday. That's quite interesting, don't know why. 78 left swipes and 24 right swipes on average per day. All right, so basically I swipe right on, 25% roughly. All right, now I had 229 chats, and of those, essentially nearly 50% of them, I didn't reply to someone else's opening message. You gotta be really interesting, and also I just go, it's such a weird place, online dating. My chat usually lasts 22 hours.
So Evan's he's nerding out here, but I just want to use this as an example to help you understand. This is not to diss Evan. I know Evan's just making a video and trying to be creative, but I want you to understand that you're going on dating apps for the purpose of meeting guys that you think you'll be compatible with. But I want you to the reason that this is the first point is because I want you to start getting an idea that the men who gravitate towards dating apps aren't using it for the same approach. And in fact, their approach is actually quite different than yours. It's more of a numbers game for them because the more numbers they can get, they can then funnel it down to some good options. So this is part of the reason what I'm using all of this, right, to help explain to you part of the reason why when you meet men, you start feeling like, damn, like none of these men really care about me or are taking me serious, but they're on a dating app. Why are they on a dating app, but it doesn't seem like they're on a date with me and taking this relationship or taking this thing seriously here? And why do I feel like I keep meeting men who are constantly not taking this serious? These are part of the reasons, okay? So let's skip ahead here.
Oh God, have you run an ultra marathon lately? Because you've been running through my mind all day.
Okay,
oh
so
God,
and then it just this is actually a pretty important part that I want you guys to see. So Evan's gonna show through his analysis because he kind of took all his data down. He's gonna show you what ended up being his most successful message, okay? This is very important.
Like I said, Tinder's not quite the best for holding a good conversation. All right, about the same amount of received as it is sent messages. I send 25% more than I receive. That makes sense, trying to get out there. Oh God, have you run an ultra marathon lately? Because you've been running through my mind all day.
Okay. I know some of you can't see this part on TikTok, and this is where I want some of you guys who are on TikTok who want to see the full part of the screen. I can't fit everything into the screen on TikTok, unfortunately. But if you want to see the full stream with everything because he has some text laid out on the screen here, but you just can't see it. It's off screen for you guys on TikTok. So Evan shows his most popular message, meaning that based on data, like he's actually went down and got data on this. Based on data, his message that led to the longest conversations, right? You see here, your best starting message that led to your longest conversations was, have you run an ultra marathon yet? Because you've been running through my mind all day. So the reason, I know that this is funny and this sounds comical, but I want us to actually learn and take something from this, okay? Because what you're going to notice a theme of in some of the other videos we're going to watch and some of the other topics we're going to discuss, this becomes a theme in the sense that when guys are going through their dating app, they're constantly tweaking to understand what gets the best response from women. How can I present myself? What prompt should I use? What picture should I use? We're going to talk about everything today. So you're going to see why the guys you meet either start to feel the same or you feel like the guy that you meet on a dating app and you start messaging is drastically different from the guy that you actually go out on a date with. I want to link all of these together and show you from the other perspective the way that the guys are strategizing here. So you can see here in his analysis, he's actually been able to determine, of course, he's kind of nerding out here a little bit, but he's actually used data and statistics to be able to determine, based on all his swiping, what message has led to the most response. So what do you think the men are going to do, who are thinking to themselves, what's a really good message I should use to message a girl first on the app? They're probably going to think, if this worked so well for Evan and Evan looked like this, no diss to Evan, I can probably get, a way better response than even that.
Listen, I'm the pun guy. I make puns. It's a bit cringe, but they said they were into ultramarathon. I'm gonna run off that. My number one chat up line is just make an original chat up line based on something they're interested in and throw a pun in there. Things that don't work out. I don't have a puppy. Listen, women just want men with puppies. In terms of pickiness, it seems I swipe right on 23% of people, whereas the average of men is 40% and the average of women is 7%. So I'm in that sweet spot right there. Now, I match with 3.3% of the people I swipe right on, and women match with 33. Men match with 2.5%. So that's right, I'm 0.8% better than average. Yes! Average.
So I essentially just go through that, right, to help you understand, right, because I don't want to go through the whole video here, but I'm going through this to help you understand guys are strategizing for this and for you. They're building their profiles and understanding if I swipe right enough on multiple people multiple times, I will eventually get my answer. And my answer is going to be what gets the best response. Remember, the whole idea here is quantity over quality. I need to cast the widest net possible so that I can get the most responses back. And then from those responses, some of those women I'll go out on a date with. Goose says, I thought dating apps are a no-no. They are a no-no, but I don't want you guys to think that I just tell you guys to do stuff or not do stuff because I feel like, you know, I'm always right and nobody else knows better than me. I'm actually trying my best to show you why I don't advise you to be on dating apps by helping you understand the strategy of the men behind the dating apps, because you have to understand you're on the dating app for a different reason than the guys are, and the way that you're going about the dating app is different from the guys, but you're confused because when you get on the dating app, you assume that those guys are here for the same reason, trying to do the same thing, okay? So, very important. So we started off with number one, which is quantity over quality. Now let's get to number two. This is going to be very, very interesting, okay? We're going to have a really interesting show today. So number two is the personalized personality. Okay, we're going to watch another very important video. I feel like we're in school. You know when your teacher will roll out the cart in school with the cart with the TV on top, and then they'll play you a video that has to do with the curriculum? That's exactly what we're going to be doing today for today's show. So we're going to have a very important part here. This number two point is called personalized personality. So essentially what's happening is on your dating apps, let me take my headphones off for a second so you can really pay attention to me. On your dating apps, these men are getting good at understanding there's a particular type of personality that majority of women are looking for, at least when it comes to the dating apps. So they recognize that if I can portray myself with this particular type of personality, it's going to yield me the best result. Because remember, the men aren't here on these dating apps to swipe on one person at a time and, you know, be detailed, meticulously analyzing, okay, what does she look like? What does she enjoy? Do I think we'd be compatible? No. They're just trying to cast a wide net and bring back as many fish as possible. Not that you're a fish. I just want you to understand the idea. So I say that to say these men are swiping and then they're realizing, okay, if I want to get more women attracted to me, if I want to get more women interested in me, I can't just be myself, because just being me might not necessarily be as attractive to some women as it is to others. So they start learning and gathering tips from other men on prompts and bios and pictures and the way to present themselves to mold and create an entire personality that is the most attractive to you. They're essentially kind of like playing the algorithm. They're playing the game, which is playing the algorithm, because the algorithm understands that, hey, when you're swiping, you're only going to be seeing them for a couple of seconds. So if they can put particular things that will either trigger you or trigger a response in you or trigger them to stand out in your mind or trigger the things that you're looking for, that will be the best way to catch your attention and get you to swipe right on them. But here's the problem. You're not swiping right on the actual person that they are. You're swiping right on the curated personality online persona that they've created to attract you to them. So when you start messaging them, you're thinking you're messaging a guy that you're actually compatible and interested in. However, you're actually messaging a guy who has curated his profile and his online personality to fit your already existing needs or what he assumed to be your needs. So when you match with him, you start talking to him, and then you finally meet him, there's a misalignment, because when you meet him, his personality is not going to be able to be the same as the hinge prompts, as the, you know, the way that he molded and shaped his personality online. So you're going to be very confused why those things don't match and those things don't correlate. Okay, so let's play a video for you all where you're going to see an example of a guy who is actually coaching men. Okay, it's not a diss to the creator. He's just doing, you know, his thing. He's actually coaching men on how to give them, how to essentially help them mold their profiles and what the girls are looking for. Okay, so we're gonna start off with this video.
Notice is girls,
which comes from, you guys probably don't care about the creators' names, but this video comes from Fit Fearless. Okay, so the title of his video here is I broke Hinge in Miami. This secret formula, insane results. So he's on Hinge in Miami, and he's essentially figured out the formula to get all the girls to respond to his messages, and he kind of goes through everything here. Now, this video, the reason I'm showing you this so that you guys can understand why we're talking about this today, is because I want you to understand this video here, okay, this video alone that he posted, this video has, take a guess how many views this video has, okay? Let's scroll down here. This video has 100,000 views, 110,000 views, okay, in 6 months. So 100,000 men have watched this video, and when you see him having success in this video as a man, and you see that he's getting a whole bunch of responses from women, what do you think the men watching his videos are going to be thinking? I'm just going to copy exactly what he did, and I'll get the same results, or at least similar results. So let's see what Fit Fearless says in his video here.
Let me see if I see.
You're in enemy territory. You're deep in enemy territory.
Anybody that catches my eye before I go to the ones that like me. This girl goes, I think you're too pretty. Let me see what she looks like. I see why. In this video, I'm going to break Hinge using a secret formula that has never been shared before. I'm going to walk you guys through step by step exactly how to do this. Then I'm going to reveal my results in the end. So make sure you're staying all the way through the video. The reason I'm making this video is because a lot of guys don't know exactly that dating apps, there's a system.
What did he just say? In dating apps, there's a system. Let me fix the video here for you guys on TikTok here. Make sure you guys are all centered. Okay, so you guys are going to see he's going to start discussing the system that he uses for his dating apps. Okay, let me fix this. Fit Fearless is going to be using a system, and he's going to show you exactly how he does this for his dating app. So let me play this.
Nothing is about guessing. There's a specific system that works on each app, and this is the system that works on Hinge. If you guys like videos like this, make sure you're giving me a thumbs up and liking the video, man. Let's get right into the video. All right, guys, I'm going to explain to you my exact strategy to get unlimited amount of matches in a very simple way. First things first, I want to explain to you guys that your photos will attract the exact sexual market value that you are on Hinge. More importantly, with Hinge, your photos have to be on point. I'm consistently testing my photos to see which photos perform the best. I'm doing photo shoots every other week. You might not have to be as extreme as me.
He's doing photo shoots every other week just to attract the most Hinge matches. I just want you to understand, like, obviously, you know, he's a content creator, but you do understand that there are men taking it this seriously. Not to diss him, I just want you to see why you are a little bit confused with the type of men that you're meeting on dating apps, and why you feel like you're misaligned with the way that they're going about stuff and what they want versus what the guys seem to want.
But I do a lot of testing so I can come back and give you guys recent information. What is working now, newer photos get rewarded. So you need to make sure that your photos are as recent as possible, as current as possible, as fire as possible, because that's going to determine the kind of girls that you exactly attract. Number two, your prompts need to pique interest and curiosity. So I'm going to go to my Hinge. and I'm gonna show you guys
I want you guys to pay very close attention in this part because this is very important.
my prompts. So I got 3 prompts. The first one is I go crazy for. Now, I've structured my life, the women that I want to date, to attract the kind of girl that I want. I don't believe in wasting time dealing with girls that I have no interest in. So I'm trying to weed out as many girls as possible. This is why I have the first prompt, I go crazy for girly girls. Girly girls tend to do what? Tend to be more cooperative, more feminine. They're more in their feminine essence. The second prompt I have is typical Sunday, and I put staycations. You guys got to be aware of what these girls, the lifestyle that the women want. If you swipe on Hinge frequently, right, what you will notice is girls, they want to do staycations.
Listen to what he's saying. Now, he's obviously not trying to diss or be mean, but I just want you to understand, and I'm not villainizing him at all because he's just playing the game to his own best of his ability, okay? But I'm helping you understand that when you're swiping on men, think about it. This video, like I said, has over 100,000 views. So other men are hearing him talk and saying, oh, okay, yeah, staycation. Okay, I go crazy for as a prompt. And what do you think they're doing? They're going on their Hinge profile and they're doing the exact same thing. But understand, by the time they add pictures just like he does, and they do prompts just like he does, and they strategize just like he does, are you meeting the guy that you actually, are trying to meet that lives in your local area, or are you just meeting a version of this guy? And while you might be like, well, Tomisin, I think this guy's hot. I'd love to meet that guy. He looks like a really nice chocolate man. At the end of the day, he doesn't share the same personality as the guy who lives in, I don't know, LA or New York, right? That you're going out on a date with. So at the end of the day, the guy that you're going out on a date with can replicate his Hinge profile all he wants, but that's not necessarily who he actually is. And so you'll be confused because you're thinking you're meeting this guy, but when you actually go out on this date, it's not going to be this guy. But listen to some of the things that he mentions he's looking for and how he goes about strategizing to attract a particular type of girl.
Women like to do what every other girl is doing. So I make sure to put my typical Sunday as staycations because I know a lot of girls are going to relate to that. That's what they want to do. Women are always trying to see what their life is going to be like with you. Next, this is a huge advantage and I get a lot of responses. This year, I really want to, and mine is add +1 to my travel list. Every girl under the sun wants to travel now. Luckily for me, I've been to 10 different countries.
So really take in what's being said here. Okay, you guys might not be able to see it because I'm kind of covering it here. But on the bottom right of the screen, he's talking about the places he wants to travel to. And he literally has, I wish I could show you guys it, but he literally has a picture of all these different places that he wants to add to his upcoming travel list. Because like he just mentioned, he knows that girls want to travel a lot. So he knows he can cast the widest net possible for the type of girl he's looking for by talking about traveling a lot. Now, does he necessarily want to add a +1 to his travel, or does he have any real intention of getting some of the girls he meets on Hinge to travel with? Maybe, maybe not. Probably not, to be honest. What he wants to do, more than he wants to travel with someone that he meets on Hinge, is he wants to attract as many girls that are, his type that he's looking for. And then from there, he wants to pick which ones, will be interested in him and are, kind of easygoing that he can talk to and he can kind of mess around with. You understand what I'm saying? It's not really about finding a wife. It's about finding as many options as possible, right? Mimi just said, have an option.
You know what I did? Understanding the psyche of women. Women like to travel. They want to experience the world. I put this year, I really want to add +1 to my travel list. And then I put the country flags that I've been to. You know what a lot of girls do? They always comment, you should add this. You should add this. You should add this. So I'm piquing curiosity. Or the girls would be like, oh, what was your favorite country so far? Which country did you like the most? It gets the conversation going. Now, I'm going to share my video prompts later once I reveal the results with my photos. The next thing about Hinge is you want to do what I call interval swiping. Interval swiping.
This is crazy. It's strategies on strategies on strategies on strategies. Like I said, this is not to diss him, but I just want you to understand how many strategies like are going on right now. We're like 3 minutes into the video and he's talking about not only the prompts you should use, but how you are going to be swiping now.
It means that you swipe and stop in a specific rhythm to you so you can maximize the matches. The optimal way to get...
Once again, what is the strategy here? Maximize the matches, maximize the options, cast the widest net possible. It's not to diss, but I just want you to understand why when you go out on dates with men, a lot of the men, I should say, that you're meeting on dating apps, their mind is always focused on the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. Because think about this as well. There's over 100,000 men who have watched this video, except for us, watching it here. We got one view here that comes from people who aren't going to use these tactics. But, and so when they're watching this video and they're adjusting their prompts and they're adjusting their profile here and they're going out on a date with you, they're obsessed with getting more and more and more and more matches, which is precisely why when they date you and, they're not really plugged into the conversation or tapped in, they're not really here to really date. They're just kind of thinking, oh, if you're not going to sleep with me on the very first night, I'll move on to the next girl that I can swipe right on, because it's a strategy of quantity.
Get a lot of matches on Hinge, and I've studied this, I've experimented, I've tried trial and error, and I come and I give you guys what works, and I'm giving it to you. Motherfuckers will charge you for this shit. I'm giving it to you. Here it is. You want to get a lot of matches on Hinge, what you need to do is interval swipe. The way you do this is you do 5 minutes of objective swiping, and then you close the app entirely. Objective swiping means
I didn't even know this was a thing.
You swipe right and you swipe left. You take your time to maybe scroll through the girl's profile before you swipe right or left. You absolutely do not want to just be swiping right, swiping left. Hinge has actually set it up to where you can spam swipe. If you notice on Hinge, you can't just like a girl's photo and then go to the next girl. You got to kind of like scroll a little bit. They do that on purpose. They're trying to get you to go through the profile. That is telling you that they don't want you to spam swipe.
So let me skip ahead, and I want to show you a bit of him interacting with girls, because he's going to show you the process of how he actually even messages the girls here.
Nearby, there's a new here. Active today, nearby, new here are not the women you're going to be the most compatible with. If you look, you get enhanced recommendations with the compatible tab. When you have a Hinge X, so basically I get shown more to girls that I'm already compatible with. So let's say a girl likes guys in a specific height. It's only going to show the women that are into you.
I don't want to get copywritten here, but he's gonna start messaging
as well,
and he's gonna show you his he's gonna go through his preferences.
Profiles. Oh fuck. Women put absolutely no fucking effort in their photos, man. They don't have to. All right, you motherfuckers gonna like anything anyways.
Damn.
They get hundreds of likes and hundreds of
So here, there's gonna be a portion.
But
here.
you.
Let me skip towards it.
Let me see if I can find something to disqualify. Simple. Works very well.
So now he's. This is we're deep in enemy territory here. Now he's gonna actually go through showing you the messages that he's having with other women and how he goes about this process. Okay, so this is gonna be very. If you feel like you've heard any of this from other guys, there's probably a reason why.
This chick, Maya, was asking me about Austin Dunham. Shout out my man Austin, man. My boy is killing it too. And that's fucking hilarious. She asked me if I was Austin. I'm like, that's how you know this shit works, man. We all grinding. But anyway, I got 67 connections. A girl is saying, I think you're too pretty for me. Oh my God, are you real? Just a few first messages. The quality of some of these girls, let me see, that I matched with. On the match side.
So, okay, I want you guys to actually like take in what's happening here, okay? And I hope for some of you this is like eye-opening, and why I talk to you guys about this, because I feel like some of you guys don't really understand the other perspective. I want you to really take in that what's happening here is he's literally saying, I have matched on Hinge with these girls. And even in the process of matching with some of these girls on Hinge, I actually clicked like on their profile, because Tinder, you can't just, with Hinge it's different. You really have to say, okay, I click heart. Even the girls he's matched with on Hinge, he's still going through his chat now. And he's saying, nah, she's not really up to my standards. So imagine the idea that men are on a dating app, and some of them, maybe not all, but some of them are even matching you. And even when they match you, how crazy is this? Even when they match you, they're still going through and saying, no, I don't really want her or like her or think she's interesting. I just matched with her for the quantity. But now that she's actually in my message, I don't really want to be with a girl like this. She's not really up to my standards. So I'm not saying that to make you feel horribly about yourself, but I just want you to understand sometimes you can even get deceived yourself when you match with someone. You're thinking, oh, this guy actually likes me and is invested in building with me. And that is not necessarily true. And see, combined with the personality faking, a lot of times you can easily get tricked. So let's continue going through, because I really want this to be an in-depth knowledge of the other side here. So let's see how he interacts with these girls.
Okay, let's look at some of the girls that messaged me. She's all right. Okay. Not too bad. Let me see if I can see some decent looking. But I think the quality on the girls who liked me will be a lot better. I'm willing to bet. This girl, Kiki, obviously goes, definitely gonna need some proof you're a real person. Okay, Kiki. Let me see what Kiki look like. Kiki's cooking some meals. Okay, Kiki. Okay, girl. To the ones that like me. This girl goes, I think you're too pretty. Let me see what she looks like. I see why. Not bad. Okay. She's a cute little black chick. Some cute black chicks in here. You guys always accuse me of not liking black girls. So that means
Oh, let me do this for you guys on TikTok, because I know you guys, it's hard for you guys to see everything that's going on here, and I want to make sure you guys aren't left out here, because you're like, Tomisin, what's going on? We can't see this on screen. So I want to try my best to fit this on screen for you guys, so you guys should be able to see a little bit better now. Okay, all right, let's go back to the video here. This is craziness.
I swiped on black girls, okay? So that's 67 minus 8 on the total matches side. So that's about 59. Let's go to the girls who sent me a like in the past 24 hours. All right, let's look at theirs. Olivia. Okay, Olivia. She look good. I'm gonna match with her.
Like this.
She sent me a rose, so that's like extra than a like. Okay. This girl goes, why are you on Hinge when you should be on Beyond? What the fuck is Beyond? What the hell is that? Let me see how she look. Okay, she looks good. She's cute. It's always the girls that like me that I'm more into. I don't know what it is, bro. I think maybe I'm narcissistic, guys. I don't know, man. The girls who like me, I just like them more. Yeah, I don't know. They always hotter. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is, man. The girls who want me first, I tend to always like, I don't know, man. You motherfuckers love raising girls' interest. Y'all love it. I don't. All right, let me see. Another girl. Sierra goes, you're so handsome. I'm kind of getting, I don't know.
So he's going through his swiping regimen.
Good. Sonia. She goes, this looks AI generated. My photo looks AI generated. Let me see what she looks like. Sonia looks good. I'm like, I get that. You're not validating the girl. You're not sounding too excited.
So now he's going to talk about exactly how the guy should go about this and why this is so important. And he's going to kind of wrap this video up with explaining to them what strategy they should take away from this. Okay, we're on the
most efficient way. Number one, the first message should be a calm opener. What do I mean by calm opener? Hey, how's it going? Hey, how are you? Hey, how's your day? What's up? What you up to? But that's what I mean by a calm opener. You're not validating the girl. You're not sounding too excited. It's something calm. Second thing you want to do, this is proven. 2, see if the girl is in your city, especially for you guys who live in major cities. You got to see if she's in your city. This is for Hinge specifically. See if she's in your city. So my question would be, hey, are you currently in Miami? Hey, so do you live in Miami or are you visiting? Something along those lines. Hey, are you in LA? Are you visiting? Hey, are you currently in LA? Because like I just told you, Hinge does not geo change. It doesn't auto change your geography, like where you currently are. If you set it to a place, it will probably still be that place. Number 3, suggest to meet in person. I'm giving it to you motherfuckers, man. Your third message should be straight like this. Hey, we should get to know each other in person better. Hey, I think it's more natural if we get to know each other in person, right? What am I doing there? Pay attention. I'm trying to weed out girls who are just on there for fun. So in 3 messages, I've opened in a calm, non-validating way. I figured out if she's in my city. And now that 3rd message is gonna determine if she's on this fucking app to waste my time, get free attention, if she's trying to stall. If she doesn't agree that we should meet in person, I'm off the app. This is my proven way to maximize the amount of dates. I can get 3 to 4 dates every single week, guys. So I'm trying to see if this girl is ready to meet me in person. If she says anything.
What did you hear what he said? I can get 3 to 4 dates every single week. He didn't say I'm looking for love. He didn't say I'm looking to meet the person that I want to spend the rest of my life with. He didn't say nothing about any sort of commitment. He said I can get 3 to 4 dates every single week, which let's be for real. Okay, let's translate that in guy speak. That means I can smash 3 to 4 girls every single week. That's what he's actually saying. Okay, I'll just translate that in case you weren't aware of what he's saying there. That's what he means when he says that. He's not saying I'm actually going to take 3 to 4 girls out each week. What he's saying is he's going to get 3 to 4 opportunities to sleep with the new girls each week.
She doesn't agree that we should meet in person, I'm off the app. This is my proven way to maximize the amount of dates. I can get 3 to 4 dates every single week, guys. So I'm trying to see if this girl is ready to meet me in person. If she says anything other than yes, definitely, sure, that sounds like a great idea, I'm off the app. I guarantee you, bro, you're gonna save so much fucking time. You will eliminate so many of the attention whores, so many of the guys who are just on the app trying to get an ego boost, so many of the girls who are just on the app just talking to dudes for fun. You will eliminate all those. You're trying to find girls who have genuine interest in meeting you. That's message number 3. Message number 4 is exchange contact information. I suggest an interest amplifier. For my 4th message is an interest amplifier. What does that mean? My Instagram is a plus for me. I got good pictures. I got an okay amount of clout. A girl can see more of who I am. If you've done the work, you got some really high quality pictures, I would suggest you first go to Instagram so she can see more of your life, and then you can set the plans of the date there. But at least on Instagram, you guys have already discussed that you guys are planning on going out. If you don't have a good Instagram yet, you get the number. But you guys have already agreed that you should meet in person. So when you get the contact information, ain't no need for chit chat, ain't no need to talk for another 2 weeks, you're setting the date. Hey, my name is Lamarck. Let's go, you know.
So I say all that to say, and we watched that video together. We were literally like in class, right? I know might be a little bit overwhelming for you to take that in, okay? I put it at 1.5 speed, Tracy. That's why he was talking fast, okay? But this is exactly what I want you to start realizing, is that the guys on the dating apps are personalizing their personality. Because like I said, the video that we just watched, that video alone, that has over 100,000 views, okay? And so I just say that to help you understand that's over 100,000 men who are watching those videos and saying to themselves, great, I'm going to start customizing my Hinge profile exactly like what worked for him so that I can start getting the same type of matches and the same type of results as him. And notice when he talked at the end of the video, he wasn't talking about being in love. He wasn't talking about building a relationship. He wasn't talking about building, some of you guys are funny. So he wasn't talking about building something long lasting and sustainable. He was talking about maximizing his opportunity to get dates. And let's use our thinking caps, what he means by dates, okay? He means busting nuts. All right, it's not to diss you, but I just want you to understand that the guys are going about it from a quantity perspective. Okay, so the quantity over quality was number 1. The personalized personality was number 2. Now, number 3, and the reason that you get tricked when you're on these dating profiles is because, like I mentioned before, you have different goals. See, your goal when you're on this dating app is to find a guy that you are going to be able to settle down with and eventually date and build a long-lasting relationship with. But the problem is the guys who are hopping on the dating apps aren't looking to be in one relationship with one girl that they meet on the dating app. And here's actually the most painful part that I want you to realize, okay? And this is going to hurt your feelings. I'll just be honest with you. A lot of times the men who have the best profiles on dating apps, unfortunately, usually are the ones who actually understand all of this psychology in the dating apps and how to present themselves in a way that's the most likable and attracts the most women. So when you match with those men who are on dating apps constantly, which is why they have nice profiles, you end up meeting what I would refer to as a serial swiper, meaning they get a dopamine hit in itself just from swiping on a whole bunch of women. And the dopamine hit is matching with all those women because they like to come into the app. You know how you get a dopamine hit every time someone likes your picture on Instagram or comments on your picture on Instagram or sends you a DM and things like that? It's the same type of dopamine high that men get, and you might get it as well, I'm just speaking for the men, that men get from being able to swipe on a whole bunch of girls and then come back into the app and see a whole bunch of matches and see a whole bunch of messages. It's self-validating, and it makes it boosts their self-esteem and their self-worth. Here's the problem though, when you match with a guy like that, okay, and you go out with a guy like that, that's a serial dater, they're not capable of being present with you in that moment. Why? Because they're always thinking, the next date, 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 right? It's almost like it's like an addiction, right? Where they can't properly date one person and actually focus on that person and the relationship and how it's going because they're so focused on, as soon as I leave this date, I got to swipe on the next one. I got to swipe on the next one. I got to go out with the next one. I got to keep these messages with the next one. I got to Snapchat this one, DM that one, respond to that one, and they're going crazy, okay? And the thing about it is, one, they're not able to take in your relationship that you're having, okay, or anything that's going on in your relationship, and two, they're a lot less willing to like build with you or do anything hard. So as soon as you do some of the strategies that we talk about in the Players Club, which is allowing the men to pursue you and allowing them to talk to you when they're ready and reach out to you and not doing too much and in fact doing nothing, they don't respond to that because they're just in the business of, I just want the most possible women I can attract and talk to at the same time as I possibly can. And on top of that, I want the difficulty level when I'm speaking to those women to be very, very low. Meaning, I want to match with 100 women. I want to be talking to as many women as possible, but I want to keep the cycle going. So the guys that are doing this, they're not saying, oh, I want to get on the dating app. I want to match with people until I find a good one and then I'll stop matching. No, even when they match with girls they're attracted to, girls that they get along with, girls that they find interesting, they're of the mind frame that I need more. There always has to be more. I need the next thing. And see, the dating apps are like the best and worst thing to happen to the world because now, you know how I talk about the guys will have the shiny new toy mindset and mind frame where they're always thinking of the next best thing. They're always thinking of the new shiny new toy and they can't stop thinking about what's next. And the moment a girl stops being new, they stop being interesting. See, the men who are obsessed with shiny new toys, they get on dating apps because they get a shiny new toy every hour if they want, right? Shiny new toy to talk to, go out with, spend time with every new hour. And like that guy just said in his video, he gets to 3 to 4 dates on average a week with that strategy. Okay. He didn't say, I'm doing this up until I meet my wife. No, he says, I get consistently 3 to 4 dates a week. To do what? To smash and then move on to the next shiny new toy. I'm not saying this to hurt your feelings. I'm not saying this to make you angry or trigger you. I'm just helping you understand what really goes on so that you're not confused why you get on dating apps and then you feel like you're meeting the same guy or you're meeting guys who aren't even ready to date. Okay? So I want to play you guys a quick video on different goals here because, you know, today's Video Central, we're kind of doing a reacts and, you know, I want you guys to see not just from me because I don't want you guys to just think it's me yapping out of my butt and I don't know what I'm talking about. I want you guys to also see what some of these guys are talking about and how they're interacting with the other guys to kind of show them what the best thing to do is in these situations. So we're going to go to another content creator who talks about how to structure the dating profile. And this will be very, very interesting. So let's see here.
Tag for it. It's really not that.
So this is essentially, what's his name here? This is playing with fire, okay? And I'm assuming it's called playing with fire because, you know, Tinder and the fire emoji and things like that. So we're going to kind of go through just real quickly some of the things he talks about. His video is titled Hinge Profile Tips for Guys, How to Optimize Your Profile and Prompts, okay? Because I know a lot of you love Hinge, okay? So we're going to see what Dating with Fire has to say. Of course, he's talking to other men.
What's up, guys? In this video, I'm going to show you the optimal way to set up your Hinge profile to get more matches and maximize your chance of meeting hot girls. So overall, I think Hinge is a really solid app that's actually underrated. I personally consider it part of the big three along with Tinder and Bumble. And honestly, I probably get most of my results from Hinge and Bumble. Those are tied for first place for me. So there's two things that make Hinge distinct from other apps. First of all, you can message girls without matching with them, which is kind of what you can do on OkCupid or Plenty of Fish. Right, so all the same rules that make a picture good on Tinder and Bumble are going to apply here. And if you're not really sure how to get profile photos, check out this video. So you see that I kind of set it up. Picture me pouring some wine, me lifting some slightly heavy weights with Rhaegar, me barbecuing, manly, and then we got Rhaegar. So with Hinge, you need to have 6 pictures.
What did I tell you all about this? And what did sorry, some of you can't see this. I want you to see what his Hinge profile picture is here. And what did I tell you all about the maximization here? What does he have as one of his pictures on his Hinge profile? What did I tell you? Guys are advising guys, and this is where I say, this is why do you think you're so confused where you feel like you like a guy up until you meet him in person? Because it's not really him. This guy is, I guarantee you, I haven't even watched this whole video yet, but I guarantee you, he's going to tell you, put a picture of your dog here. You guys be thinking the dog is a harmless thing and it's just an accident. When in reality, a lot of men are learning that having a dog in their profile picture there can actually make it easier to attract more women. And so I'm just saying that, not to that, every time you see a dog, you'll be like, oh my God, this is a plot to get in my pants. But I just want you to understand how this can actually affect your ability to judge a person's character, okay? And you can start becoming confused. I'm just trying to fix this here. You can start becoming confused when you're meeting a guy and you're wondering why, hey, I don't feel like we get along the same way that we did when I was matching with you on Tinder or matching with you on Hinge or whatever, right? And you can start being confused why the guys that you're meeting don't seem to mesh with them, okay? So let's go on with this video here.
Pictures, right? Like some other apps will allow you to have, 4 pictures, 5 pictures, up to you. Hinge requires you to have 6 pics, but not all of them have to be a picture of you, right? So that's why I have 5 pics of me and 1 picture of Rhaegar, along with taglines like, this should go viral, or a special talent of mine, barbecuing, right? My dog looks at me like this, right? So whatever the fuck your picture is, you can come up with a tag for it. It's really not that hard. Then we have my Instagram. So if you have a good Instagram, you want to link it so the girl can get a double dose of you. And if not, then you don't link it. Very simple, very straightforward. Okay, so next let's go to the profile prompts. So here are the ones I picked. The hallmark of a good relationship is, and the answer for this is communication, great sex. So this is known as a truism. It's a statement that really no girl can disagree with. Like, what's she gonna say? Hallmark of a good relationship is bad sex? Like, you just can't disagree with that. But if I had just said, great sex without the communication part, probably would have been a little bit like too forward, maybe too crass, because the girl would probably then think like, oh, what about everything else, right? But because I put communication in there, like that just works well. And this one, hooks a lot of girls. I'll have a lot of girls who like this answer, and sometimes they'll even message me about it and be like, so true. Second one, a shower thought I recently had, and I said, you don't even want to know. So the purpose of this is to slightly sexualize.
So think about what he's doing here, right? He's explaining each and every Hinge prompt, and then he's telling you what the most likely responses you're going to get out of the Hinge prompt. Even in one of his Hinge prompts, he talks about literally saying the hallmark of every good relationship is communication and great sex. So he's trying to even in the process of casting the widest net possible, he's trying to attract a very specific type of girl who's looking for a very specific type of thing. You can only imagine the type of thing he's looking for if he thinks communication and great sex is, the most important part of a relationship. I mean, not that that's necessarily wrong, but him putting that in the profile and as his one of his prompts is very strategic, okay? So just think about that, right? And some of you better be paying attention to this, especially if you feel like, wait a second, some of these prompts, I think I've seen some of these prompts before. If you think you've seen some of these prompts before, oh boy, you're in for it. Now you know where I came from.
And also be a hook. So I've had multiple girls, like that answer and be like, oh, I really want to know now. Or like, ooh, you have to tell me. Like, that made me curious, right? So again, just baiting her in. And then I geek out on Game of Thrones. So that's just like a fucking random fact about me, right? Like, I'm sure you can come up with a better prompt and answer than that. I just went with that. All right, so let's take a look at some of the other stuff. This is all pretty standard, like amongst other apps. I don't think really needs much repeating. Only one I will touch on is drugs. put no for that, even if you are into drugs, just because some girls that might be a deal breaker. Drinking, sometimes. Smoking, no. Marijuana, sometimes. Right, so pretty straightforward. Cozy girls, but instead of left-right swipe, it's X and a heart, but same principle, right? So if I really want to maximize, so I have two options, right? I can just like her and send a like, and then if she likes me, we match. But if I want to optimize my chances, I will send her a message along with my like, right? Something that will draw her in. So what can I say to this beautiful woman? Is something like, I like the overalls, and add some kind of emoji to that. Bam, right? And this is like a subtle compliment, but she's gonna be like, wait, is he serious or is he teasing me? And if you want more information coming up with clever pickup lines, then check out this video. So let's repeat this experiment again. This girl's not really my type. Let's see what else we got. Not really my type. Let's see.
So he's gonna go through some good messages to send now.
All right, so let's go to the messages, right? So and the cool thing about Hinge that I really like is that when girls like you, it shows you them. Like, you don't have to pay for that. You know, with Bumble, you have to pay for Bumble Super Duper B, whatever package. With Tinder, you have to pay for Gold. Otherwise, you can't see. With Hinge, you can see exactly who likes you, which makes paying for Hinge, premium unnecessary. Like, it's a great app, but you can get really good results without actually paying extra for it. So you see I have the free version. All right, so let's take a look at PMs. This is literally exactly like any other app. Like, let me walk you through this one. So super straightforward. She liked my photo. I invited her to start the chat. So I liked her back. And then always you have to actually send her the opener. Like, that's not enough to just invite her to start the chat. At least not for most girls. So the standard, hey, trouble. Well, I think you look more like trouble than I do. Oh, I know I'm trouble. Hope you are too, at least a bit. I certainly am, at least a bit. Good, is that your dog? Yes, her name is Stella. Cute. I wonder how she would get along with Rhaegar. So moving things forward. Your dog is beautiful. Mine loves big dog. She thinks she's big lol. Thinks we should go on a double date. So moving towards the meetup. Sounds good. Do you like wine? Love wine. Good. Let's split a bottle sometime soon. So you can see how I'm kind of I'm just very strategically moving towards the close. Like, I started with the cute. I wonder how she would get along with Rhaegar. That's like the bait, and I'm just slowly moving it along to a harder and harder close. What's your schedule like? I'm free in the evenings. You same. How's Tuesday or Wednesday night? So that's the hard close. And I just sent her this today.
So have any of you ever heard a guy start a conversation with "Hey, trouble"?
Very likely that she will respond. So here's another example. There's a chick who I've been chatting to. Hey, trouble. Lol.
He started it with the same thing. You noticing a theme?
Never that. Hey, you. Of course not. How's your Thanksgiving? Just basic, chit chat. It's hard to top. She told me she got puppy. What kind is she? And then she asking me about, my job. Are you struggling in this department? Plenty. They're best told over a drink or two. So here I'm moving it towards the meetup and smooth. I bet they are. So this gives me a perfect opportunity to say, do you like wine? Bam. Nailed it. All right, so I think what else to touch on Hinge? Yeah, you don't really need the premium version of that. You can get by just fine with a free version. And again, the two things that make it stand out is the profile prompts, with which, you just want to be, I would say, implicitly sexual and flirty. Just have some fun with it. Don't be super bland and boring. Throw things that are like a little bit out there that girls can again, not too out there, but like a little bit like, ooh, this guy's like fucking got some balls type of shit. And then also, if you really like a girl, send her a message with your opener. If she's just average, in terms of like your type, then you just send her regular like. All right, follow this advice and you guys should be plenty of Hingerellas. All right, hopefully you guys found this video valuable. And
I try my best to enlighten you all on the things that are going on, because if we don't watch these type of things together, you'll never know that any of this is going on, and you'll be operating from ignorance, just not understanding what's happening and why it's happening to you. And so I do this not to hurt any of your feelings, and not so that you guys become depressed, but so that you guys can better understand what's going on here, and why this can be so detrimental if you're not understanding what's really going on here. Okay, so first we had quantity over quality. Then we had the personalized personality. The number 3 was different goals. Number 4 is what essentially derives to like the Me Too method. Okay, now I'm talking about Me Too not in that sense, but Me Too in the sense that when guys end up having conversation with you, and you end up yapping about yourself, or because the thing about it is, I don't know if you noticed this, even in the strategies that guys are using on you in their dating apps, they're also using the strategy to kind of push the conversation to a particular place, get you to respond in particular ways that will get you guys to where he's trying to go. So I say that to say one of the things that guys are going to do is they're quickly going to try to make it seem like you guys are on this, you and him are on the same page in terms of your thought process, in terms of what you're looking for, and in terms of what you want out of this situation. So one of the reasons I tell you to do less talking and allow the guys to talk more than you talk, especially on dates, is because guys get into the habit of just saying me too and agreeing with you so that they can end up making you feel like you guys are both here for the exact same reason. But in reality, you're not here for the same reason. They just want you to be of the belief that you're here for the same reason, looking for the same thing, have the same ideas, have the same communication, the same humor, the same everything. They want you to feel like you guys are the most compatible, because what's that going to lead to? The easiest possible outcome for him in terms of being able to sleep with you. Does that make sense? And if it's easier for him to sleep with you, that's better for him. And so everything that he's going to be doing, everything that he's going to be doing is going to be for the purpose of making that a process be smoother and easier for you. Because the smoother and easier it is for you, the more easy it's going to be for him to get access to you. Okay, does that make sense? Some people said it was glitching. Is it still glitching, guys? I don't see any issues on my end. Okay. So I'm going to show you guys actually, you know what? We'll go straight from the Me Too method, right? And we'll go into a quick video. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. Oh, what happened here? What happened to my chat? What happened to my chat? You guys are still here with me. What just happened? Okay. Sorry, I think there was like a little bit of a glitch there. All right, so let's go into a quick
one big secret
video here. We're going to watch half the video and then we're going to come back to it. So, we're going to click on Austin Durham's video here. And I want you to understand why this is, so important, okay? So, before we even get into this, like I said, guys are going to be making you feel like, you know, you guys are always on the same page. The easier it is for you guys to feel like you're on the same page, the better it is for you. The better it is for him, because he'll be able to get access to you. So understand that when you're on these dating apps and you're doing most of the talking and the guy is just agreeing with you, don't assume that you and this guy are on the same page or you like the same things or you're here for the same reason, unless you're getting him to talk about himself. You need to understand that with dating apps, one of the strategies is to get you to reveal the most about yourself so they can use that information to make themselves feel close to you. What you need to do to combat that is you need to make sure that even if you're on the dating app, I don't advise you to be on the dating app, but even when you're dating in general, you need to be making sure you're asking the questions, you're curating and leading the conversation to get the answers and information that you want. Because guys, they're going to be lost when they don't know how to present themselves in a way that you like, and when they just have to yap about who they really are, they'll start slipping up. Okay, let me acknowledge 2 donations here in our YouTube chat. Okay, thank you so much to you guys who've been donating. So let's start off with Nicole. Nicole donates $5 in the YouTube chat. She says this is his version of playing video games. He reminds me of a Diddy type. Oh man, thank you for doing this video today, Tomisin. We love you. As for him, puke emoji. So thank you, Nicole, for the donation of $5. You're always so supportive. But yeah, and this is exactly why I wanted to show you guys this, not to scare you and not to be like a horror story for you, but I do have to show you what goes on so that you're not confused why you're always, you know, seeing the same results, which is not good results when you're on dating apps. Electric Field donates $20 in the YouTube chat. Thank you so much, Electric Field. She says, for telling the horrible truth. Okay, at least now that you know, you won't be confused, you know, what these guys are really trying to do on their dating apps unbeknownst to you before. So let's go on. So we talked about quantity over quality. We talked about the personalized personality. We talked about different goals. We talked about the Me Too method. And now let's talk about manipulated messages. Okay, so we kind of went through that a little bit in some of these other videos. If you're noticing, there's a theme here. Say this, do that, like it like this, do your pictures like that. And so this is going to be our last video here, where we're going to go through a guy who's named Austin Dunham, and he is like, you know, he loves doing this on on YouTube. This is like his whole content here, where he goes through and he talks about how to maximize this to get more girls online dating. So this is like his wheelhouse. This video has 21,000 views. Okay, and him and another content creator talk about how to do this thing on Tinder. Okay,
nice bar. Okay, to where any and every girl will be in there. Occasionally, an 8+ might be in there, but you're definitely not going to see a 9, 10. No, it's not happening. Okay. You know, mostly going to be filled with 4 to 6 is average women. All right. Up next is Bumble. Bumble is kind of like a mid-tier. It's not like a dive bar, but it's a club with to dating apps and presentation. You have to ignite some sort of raw desire and attraction from your photos. And that's the reason why looks are so important too, is because obviously dating apps are very image heavy. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And so for that reason, enhance your sex appeal and then showcase those points of leverage through the image, the sex appeal, the high status environment, whatever it may be for you personally. You teach all this stuff in your course too, right? Yeah, teach and critique. And then after that, once we got the image down point, the next thing you got to do is curate the other parts of your profile, which is the prompts and bio. The bio. So there's different pillars of presentation on dating apps. There's pictures, prompts, and bio. So those are the big 3. Prompts are used as a tool to get a woman to message you first, not to describe yourself. Man, you like a scientist. I reverse engineer everything about this. Everything. You could have been like a scientist or I was actually a computer scientist. Yeah, you could have been an engineer. Man, you could be changing the world. Instead, doing this. That's cool. Let's go. Nice. I might do that, 10 years from now. Who knows? Time will tell. So prompts, most guys think is to talk about themselves, describe themselves. It's more so to elicit an emotional response to women so that they can message you first. Give me an example. Hinge, for example, typical Sunday. Most guys will put watching football with the boys, beer, my dog, and football. Wait a minute, they have like stories or some shit on Hinge? So prompts, there's different tiers of prompts. They'll start off the sentence for you. My typical Sunday. Typical Sunday, most guys will literally describe what they do on a typical Sunday. Because guys, and this is another issue guys have, they're too logical. And they have logical brains. So they think, 1 + 1 = 2, which is true. But in order to entice emotion from women, you have to think emotionally. And so instead of saying a typical Sunday football, typical Sunday mimosas with the bros. Okay.
Are you guys really paying attention to what he's saying here? Like, I don't think you guys are really paying attention to what he's saying here. He said, don't make the mistake of saying, oh, on your Hinge profile, don't be silly and say, make, typical Sunday football with the boy. Don't say that. Don't be silly and be honest about who you are and what you do and how you spend your time. What you want to do. He said, what you want to do instead of being yourself, you want to make sure you say something like Sundays is mimosas with the boys. Because he understands, and I know I'm laughing, but like this is actually very serious, because he understands that it's not important to be yourself on these dating apps. And I want you to understand what he's saying here is representative of how guys are going about their relationships. So he's saying, don't be honest about who you are and the way you go about your life on these dating apps. That's useless information, and that's not going to get you anywhere. What you need to do to going about on these dating apps, you need to focus on what the girls want. So curate and change your personality based solely around what girls will respond to. That way you can get the most matches. But what happens? You end up meeting a guy that you think likes mimosas with the boys on Sundays, but in reality, he likes to watch football. So now there's a conflict in the personality that you thought you matched with and then the personality that you're going out on a date with. Okay?
And that's something that, even though it doesn't have to be true either, but that ignites an emotional,
we didn't even,
typical Sunday, in order to entice too logical. And they have logical brains. So they think, 1 + 1 = 2, which is true. But in order to entice emotion from women, you have to think emotionally. And so instead of saying a typical Sunday football, typical Sunday mimosas with the bros. Okay. And that's something that, even though it doesn't have to be true either, but that ignites an emotional response from women to where they become intrigued, interested, to where they will reply to that.
He literally said, it doesn't even have to be true.
Even if they didn't find you attractive, too. So the whole goal here is to make women messages first, which is another part of the online dating strategy. I remember back when you had me on your close.
Please never message men first. Please. And I know some of you are like, but Tomisin on Bumble, the only way to message a guy is to message him first. Get off Bumble then. Get off.
close friends. You said something just like, man, I always have girls message. I only talk to girls who message me first, and that's a big part of your strategy.
Yeah, and the big reason for that is because dating, whether you meet a girl in real life or online, it's a big numbers game.
Yeah.
And going back to my reverse engineering sort of mindset, I actually took stats back when I was doing this a lot. I took stats and I was like, okay, I'm finding a correlation between the women who I meet up with and how the interaction started.
So I want you to take notice of something that he even said here, in that, you know, dating online is a big numbers game. What you need to start realizing is that if you're going to beat the men, you can't necessarily just play their game back at them. So for some of you thinking, oh, I'm going to beat the men who are using this as a numbers game by dating 1,000 men myself, that's not really going to help you get to where you want to go. Because if they're playing a numbers game and you're playing a numbers game, then how are you actually going to end up with the partner you're looking for? What you need to start getting good at is utilizing the strategy and ability to decipher and decode what men's intentions are, who's here for real, who's serious about you, and getting rid of the men who are trying to have rosters, trying to play the numbers game, trying to just have low quality interactions and low quality relationships, because you're not trying to be in a relationship with 35 men. At least I don't think so. I don't know if you're a poly, maybe you are. But I'm assuming you're not trying to be in a relationship with 35 different men. And so you want one good man. And the way you find that is by analyzing the difference between the men who are actually approaching you because they want you for real and that are just messing around.
More times than not, I found that the woman who I met up with, and it wasn't just a first date and I never saw them again, but actually led somewhere, they messaged me first. So I was thinking, how can I get more women to message me first? And also, I'm only going to deal with women who message me first because I don't want to waste time. I'm busy.
Did you this is actually gold. I'm so glad he made this video. He said, I'm going to play it again. He said, I'm only going to deal with women who message me first so that I don't waste time. Because he understands if I'm doing a whole bunch of pursuing, right, all this time, and I'm, chasing after her, putting in work and stuff like that, that's excess energy and time that I don't want to spend on any women. I want them all to message me first so that I can easily take advantage of the fact that they already like me and are already trying to get me, and I don't have to put in any work. Essentially, I want it to be like a microwave. Okay? Ko says he wants to pick me shit. Precisely. So actually, this video is really great because he's actually giving you a real breakdown as to exactly what the men are also looking for. Because don't think that he's saying this and he's not, the way he thinks is not in line with how other men think and how they're approaching the dating apps. They're also approaching it as, hey, if I can get girls to be messaging me and talking to me, that's way less effort. Because they're already primed up and seasoned and marinated for me to just come in and get what I want real quick and real easy.
And also, I'm only going to deal with women who message me first because I don't want to waste time. I'm busy doing other things. I don't want to spend all day on dating apps messaging women who don't really like me.
So basically, like if it was a sales or business contest, it would be like inbound come to you, inbound leads, or just outbound leads. They're always going to be more receptive. That makes a lot of sense.
Exactly. Outbound in any context is
So I tell my business clients, it's like the way you enter a sales call is just as important as what happens on the sales call. Like how it begins is just as important. But I never thought about it in a dating context.
So let's skip ahead here where they're going to start talking about messages and converting messages to a date here.
So messaging, the big thing that will actually convert the woman from the dating app to the date, because you can get hella matches, but that won't convert to anything. It means nothing, yeah. So going back to another sales strategy is that you need to use something that I call a dating funnel.
A dating funnel. Go on.
Which means that it's an ascension to the phone number from the dating app. So I can break down my personal dating.
Please.
My personal dating funnel goes from dating app to Instagram to phone number.
Oh, so okay, good.
And it's a sequence. It's a sequence I follow.
Okay.
It's not scripted, but it's a sequence. So after a few messages, let's say 3 to 5 messages on the dating app, like it's clear that she showed interest, she messaged me first, etc. I would then tell her to DM me on Instagram. The reason why I do this too is this is a compliance test. So I put a compliance test early on in my funnel to also weed out.
This is crazy. This is crazy. I didn't even get to watch this far into the video. Let me break down what he's saying here for those of you who might be missing it here. What he's essentially saying is he treats his Tinder and Hinge and Bumble profile like a business funnel. So the same way you have a whole bunch of leads at the top, people come in, they have a little bit of interest, maybe not that much. And then when they come in at the top, you kind of warm them up in a lead, and then they call it a lead in business. And then when you're warming them up, you kind of sell them on the idea that, hey, this is good, this is good. And there's a whole bunch of little tests to see how warm you are as a lead until you finally get to the end point and end goal here. So what he's describing here is essentially his system of funneling in as many women as he possibly can with particular prompts and particular messages and particular strategies, and then going from there to see, okay, is she gonna go, like I said, to take her from the app to Instagram, then from Instagram to get her number. All of this stuff I'm using to test out if my funnel is working properly and if she's one of if she's a good lead that I'm gonna get a sale from. You should know what I mean by sale.
Medium to low interest girls into only
the highest,
only high interest for me.
Yeah.
So they DM me on Instagram. I now have curated my Instagram presence.
He only wants high interest, like women, meaning women who already have extreme interest in him, willing to message him first, basically thirsty for him.
I have an attractive profile. I have
a lot of social proof.
I have social proof too, which helps. They're already attracted to me. I've now increased their attraction by some marginal degree, or even a high degree, or intrigue at least. You know, it went from who's this attractive guy on dating app to now, who is this guy? Like, who is this guy?
Why do all these people following him?
Yeah. Or like, damn, like I'm seeing him in different contexts on his profile. He has a good ratio, etc. So that increases the attraction. And then from there, we go through a few more message sequence. And then from there, I go through a soft close, hard close, and then that's when I get the phone number.
Okay, so you get the phone number after you start talking to them on Instagram?
I get the phone number after they have agreed to a date.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's the only time they get the number.
Really? Why is that?
Because women will, especially on online dating or any girl you meet, even in person, they'll toy with you a little bit. They'll act interested, but maybe not be available because they're dealing with somebody else at the current moment or whatever. So
I might get your number just for their ego.
Entertainment, whatever it may be.
Yeah, they do that.
I disqualify them.
Oh, really? After they agree to a date, they
So real quick, I just want to show you guys as well how he takes the date into the messages and then how the first date he wants it to go. So we'll skip ahead here.
All right, so you're funneling throughout the day. What's the date look like? What's the first kind of date look like? You know,
So here's another rule you got to follow is the first date has to be low investment.
Low investment.
Low investment.
Something like Starbucks coffee.
I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at any of you. I'm just laughing at the way he just straight up says exactly what I've been telling you that guys are doing. But like the way he says it so bluntly, I'm just like, wow, like that's crazy. You know, I'm watching this for the first time with you.
I don't like coffee because it's a little too platonic for me.
Yeah.
I like things to where I can potentially physically escalate and have a sexual.
No, how did he act like he actually said this in the video? Wow, he's bold. You know what? I'll give him the fact that he don't lie, he don't mess around. He's not gonna sugarcoat it. Okay, he's telling you exactly how it is. He's telling you, I'm looking for very low. Wow. Okay. He says, I'm looking to go on a first date that's very low investment in a place that I can escalate this, as easily as possible. He really said that. I'm not paraphrasing for him. Let's go back so you guys don't think I'm putting words in his mouth. He said that himself.
First date has to be low investment.
Low investment.
Low investment.
You're talking about like Starbucks coffee.
I don't like coffee because it's a little too platonic for me.
Yeah.
I like things to where I can potentially physically escalate and have a sexual vibe and sexual tension being built. A coffee date is almost like a interview. And I personally don't like that because I'm not sure if you have, but I've never smashed a girl after a coffee date in the middle of the day. Personally, I've never.
Not the same day, but I've done it. Yeah, mad time.
Okay. Yeah, I never have.
That would be my go-to move back in the day. When I was single, I got a girlfriend. Yeah.
So what they're talking about essentially is the fact that coffee dates are pretty useless because one, they're too platonic. And then two, there's not a high, what they're referring to as conversion rate between coffee dates and being able to smash. If you go on a coffee date, you're having a lot of conversation, you're interacting, you're getting to know each other, all the stuff that he's not trying to do. So waste of time in his own mind, because all that stuff is not going to lead to him getting what he is here for after meeting you. So imagine, like, really take in what he's saying he's here for and what his intentions are. And where he goes to find the girls is not in the club, not in the bar. He goes to find all these girls on the dating app. Isn't that crazy?
That was my go-to move, back in the day, long time ago. It was like coffee first because You know why? Because for me, I would do that shit in the middle of the day. All right, I got a second. I can do coffee or just something like that. Something like that. Like lunch, some quick, nothing a big deal. And you're right, it can be platonic too, because I'll do that with the homies. I'll meet the homies for lunch, or or a girl who I'm just friends with. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll meet a girl I'm just friends with for coffee or something. I liked it because it is platonic. I don't know if I like this bitch just because she's hot. Like, I mean, for real. Like, and if I didn't like, there was one girl I remember I went on a coffee with her. And I think she was interested in me. But then at the coffee, it was like, this bitch looks like my mom. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that happens.
And but it was cool because it was platonic. It was able to just be platonic.
No expectations.
Yeah, just friends. That's the whole goal. Down.
That's a risk you take with online dating. Yeah. I've had that too, to where they show up looking a little bit different, or maybe their personality is off. They're annoying.
Something's weird. Yeah.
In that case, I'll cut the date short, or I'll purposely not escalate. I'll purposely stay in one place and kind of after an hour of just putting it out with her, I'll leave.
When you said it was an interview, I'm thinking, I'm interviewing her. You say that's how I'm thinking about it.
Yeah. So yeah, for me, it's going to be like usually drinks, but you don't have to drink. Just go to a bar or a lounge during the night. And then also I like to go to an area to where there's just things to do. So a plaza, maybe with an arcade bar.
Okay.
So you got to live in a decent city for this too.
Yeah.
Middle of nowhere is going to be kind of hard. And then after that, I followed the rule of 2. So first days need to be maximum 2 hours, and then 2 locations.
2 locations. That's a big one.
That's a
big one, because then it's like it's more shit. It happens. Like it's more memorable.
Yeah, it's more memorable, and it feels like they've been on multiple dates with you, because it's almost like a psych hack.
No, 100%. I never heard only one other dude say that. Now I don't know if he got it from me or if I got it from him, but it was the homie Roosh.
Okay.
Because me and Roosh.
This is some crazy strategy here. So he's gonna real quick get into smashing on the first date. So pay attention here.
Used to be like friends before you went crazy and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like years ago, like a long time ago. Then you try to smash on that first date?
It depends on the vibe. Like, she's giving me good energy. She's bubbly, energetic. I'm physically escalating a little bit. She's receptive to it. And even if she's touching me back, that's when I'll escalate. It's getting late. If you're comfortable, let's go back to my place, listen to some music, and have some wine. You down?
Yeah.
Of course.
You a scientist or something.
And girls think it's easy to get laid, but listen to all these steps I just laid out.
Yo, listen, I'm telling you, bitches, they think that like if you're mildly attractive, that women are just throwing themselves at you all the time. But you are here dissecting the shit. You tell me you got spreadsheets and shit. Like, it's not that easy.
I'm not gonna lie. The more attractive you are, I would say if you're like a 7.5 plus, to where you're like objectively handsome,
it becomes easier.
Some women will actually throw themselves at you, but they're mostly gonna be average to unattractive women.
So I say all that to help you understand, right? And number 5 point here was manipulated messages. And I know they went through a little bit more than just the messages, but even in the messages as well, and the way that they message you can be a strategy to strategically get you from the app to the date. And even the date can be planned and structured in a way that makes it easiest for them to convert. Okay, I guarantee you, the guy that was in that interview here, he was like, if I can message her and get her to have a first date, at her house or at mine, even better. Because even noticing when he talked in that video, he was talking about escalating, right? And he wants to even utilize the date as a way to escalate pineapple-y related. Okay, so I just say that to help you understand. A lot of this is curated, especially when it comes on dating apps. And unfortunately, because of what guys are looking for, and how they're going about that, you can get manipulated very easily into thinking you're meeting one kind of guy and you're actually meeting a totally different type of guy. Because that guy that was in that podcast, or those 2 guys, it's not like they're going to come across as horrible people or terrible people when you meet them or match with them on the app. But if you're unaware of their strategy and how they're going about this to try to get and extract what they want from you, then you're going to fall victim to that, right? You're going to be like their prey because they come across so nice and so caring and so good with the way that they present themselves that you don't realize that there's a deeper kind of method to the madness there. And so especially in messages too is another one that I basically wanted to point out to you all, that don't get so enamored with messages that come from dating apps and even just in person, because the same way with the Hinge prompts, the same way with the Bumble prompts and all that, those bio hacks that guys be showing, and you've seen some of the stuff that they said they recommended to put on their bio and in their profiles. All those hacks are only making it easier for men to give you the type of personality they think you're interested in. However, you might not necessarily be interested in that location, in that type of personality. And you don't know that that's not his personality until you actually meet him, or until you guys, have pineapples, and then you realize after that that that's not his actual personality, okay? So messages can be manipulated, prompts can be manipulated, pictures can be curated, so because they know what gets the best response. And so a lot of times, by the time a guy curates and manipulates all of those three things, now they're the one who, now you're attracted to a personality of a profile that is not actually representative of the real person. And so they can more easily, and this is the really funny part that I want you paying attention to. See, with all of these tools at their disposal, they can more easily put together your dream man without actually being your dream man. And instead of them having to come up with the whole story to make themselves look like your dream man, they just configure a profile that makes it look like that. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you, hey, never use a dating app again, because if you do, you're going to be the worst person on earth and you're going to lose your soul and everything like that. If you still, after we talk about this, you're like, Tomisin, I'm going to go back to my dating apps because I don't know where else to meet men. Cool. But I just want to use this video as a way to help you understand what goes on there, because what he's talking about, make no mistake about it, it's not representative of the minority. It's actually representative of the majority, and what majority of men are going on those dating apps to do. They're going on those dating apps to gather a quantity of women and sift through them to see which ones are going to be the easiest to get access to. Okay. And all of those men would love to strategize and are strategizing in different ways to be able to get that. And there's no point when you're going on a dating app to build real relationships with people who can actually be intentional. And you're building with men who are just looking to get cheap thrills. It doesn't make sense and it doesn't align, which is why there's always a misalignment as a lot of the times when you're on the dating apps looking for guys who you actually want to spend the rest of your life with, but you feel like they're not there for the same thing. Okay. So do you guys have any questions about the 5 we discussed today? Quantity over quality was number 1. Personalized personality, number 2. Different goals, number 3. The Me Too method, number 4. And manipulated messages, number 5. Okay. Do you guys have any questions about what we discussed? Ivy says people will continue to use them. Hey guys, it's perfectly fine if you continue to use dating apps. I don't recommend it, but if you want to continue using them after this, perfectly fine. What I would advise for you to do though, instead, because I know some of you are like, wait, well, now where am I supposed to meet guys if I can't meet them on dating apps? What you got to do first is you got to step outside of your house and you got to start doing things for the sake of the fact that you enjoy them. Okay, that's all. That's the only place we need to start for you. Because when we can start there, at least when you go there, you can be enjoying yourself there, regardless of whether you're meeting men or not. Okay, and I promise you, good men also have hobbies and passions and interests outside of just being in the club or the bar. So I promise you, the more you step outside of your house, you always give yourself an opportunity to meet new guys and meet new people, some of which you might align with and become romantic with. Okay, and that's where you want to be starting, because some of you are so scared. You're like, where do I find great single men? And you want to do everything except for go out of your house. And the reality of it is, before we had the internet and social media and dating apps, everyone that wanted to meet someone new had to step outside of their house. Okay. And a lot of your grandparents that you look up to their relationship because it's lasted for so long and you're wondering how you get a relationship like that, you step out of your house, because I guarantee you, for all your grandparents and great grandparents and things like that, they didn't meet by, messaging each other on a dating app. Not to say that you can't meet great people on there, but I'm just showing you people created great relationships simply by stepping outside of their house. And you never know what type of random occurrence can happen when you're able to do that. And unfortunately, even though you might want to meet great single men on dating apps, a lot of them that get on there are only looking to maximize their options and kind of treat it as a copy and paste type of thing. Okay, does that make sense? Right? Jamila says husbands are not apps, guys. Predators are. Hey, I showed you guys this video so that you guys don't just hear it from me and think that I'm telling you guys something that doesn't even make sense while I'm saying it. I'm just talking out of my butt. I use these videos to help you understand what goes on the other side so that you can really know what's really going on. All right. Chiquita says traditional, this society is going down the tubes. I promise you there's good men out there. Unfortunately, though, not a lot of them are on the dating apps that exist today, okay? SJ said we should just abandon dating apps, in my opinion. There are other solutions and other options, and I'm definitely working on a project to try to help you guys with meeting amazing humans. Okay. We won't talk about that. You got to sign up for my email list if you want to know that project. Humans are no different on apps or anywhere else you find them. Theoretically, yeah, but you also have to understand people that are curating their profiles. It can be very tricky because when you go on that profile, it's very easy to fall victim to like what you see on that profile. And now you're believing that someone is who they're not. Now, obviously, that also happens in real life as well. But it's a lot harder for people to copy and paste a personality that's inauthentic to them for long periods of time than it is for them to copy and paste words on a screen, put it in a prompt, or copy and paste a picture composition and put that as their profile picture, right? Those are way easier to curate and manipulate than to sit in front of you, talk for hours, especially when you're asking good questions and a lot of questions, talk extensively about yourself and not slip up and let them in on the real truth about you and how you actually feel about things and what you want out of a relationship, okay? That's why I give you guys all the advice on how to deal with guys in person and understand them and learn them in person, because when you get good at this, you'll be like a police investigator and you find it very easy to get the truth out of men even without them, when they make a mistake of saying it without them realizing, okay? Ira says Tomisin is the best AI. Yeah, I guess I'm an AI, okay? I'm not real, I guess. Right? Does that make sense? More accountability in real life. I 100% agree. Okay. Right. So do you guys have any more questions about that? Now, let's hop back into on our headphones. I know we did a lot of watching today, but let's hop into our next segment and where we're going to discuss our TikTok videos around town. This is going to be our react segment. I know we're doing reaction all day today, but this is going to be our TikToks react segment where I react to some videos around town. So spam up your headphone and your camera emojis in our chat here. All right. So we're going to hop into our react section. Okay. I'm reacting to some videos that were either sent to me or just, online here. Let me make sure I have all the ones I'm supposed to have on here. Okay. Let's start off with this one.
How are you a prize if you only allow one man to compete for it? As soon as you meet a man you like, you allow only him to run the race for your heart. And you call yourself a prize. That ain't a prize. That's a participation trophy. It ain't a prize. Sometimes what you got to say is, until I find a man worthy to earn my exclusivity, I am dating other people and let the best man win. That's because I'm a prize. I'm rewarded to the person that finishes the race, that proves to be the most valuable, the most ready. Not because I meet one person and I allow him to run a race by himself, because at that point, he can take his time, can't he? He can choose to take breaks. He can sit down because he know nobody else is running. If you want me, earn me. Because if he thinks that you're supposed to take yourself off the dating market simply because he likes you, but he's not ready to actually step up and be a husband or a boyfriend, and that you're supposed to keep him as your only option, no. Tell him my heart is not a participation trophy. It is a prize. How are you a prize if you only allow one?
Okay. I like some of the things that Ace Metaphor said here, but remember, what I want you to get to understanding even more than I'm going to date everyone at once until one man does the good job. Let's have you only date men who are doing good jobs. Okay. Let's not turn you into someone who is having a contest, but now you have some contestants who are doing really bad. Let's have you only spend your time and energy on men who are actually showing you what you expect to see. And if you're dating multiple people, it shouldn't be because you just want attention and you want a roster of men. It should be because multiple men are meeting, the criteria of what you're looking for, okay? I don't advise any of you, to date multiple people at once, just to be honest with you. I just don't think that it's I think that you're more inclined to waste your own time when you're dating multiple people at once, and I'm telling you this from experience as well. And I think that it's easier to judge if a relationship is going well or not going well when you're only dating one person at once. But I always try to see other perspectives, and I see why some people want to get you more detached, and they think that getting you more detached is by spreading you out amongst more men. But the problem is you're not actually detaching yourself from men. You're just having a lot of men take up your attention, so you can't attach yourself to any one man. I don't think that actually solves the root of the problem. I think the root of the problem being solved is by always making sure you keep your investment in yourself, even if you have a man in your life. That way, whether it's one man, two men, three men, 1,000 men, you still keep you as a priority and you still stay grounded. So yes, you can be the prize and you should treat yourself like the prize, but don't treat yourself like the prize and then now because you want to be the prize, you have 30,000 men that you're dating at once, because now you're going to be confused on what you're even doing here. And it's going to become very hard to read situations and read people. And a lot of the stuff that would bother you or you wouldn't accept if you were only dating one person at a time. Like, for example, if you were dating one person at a time and that person didn't contact you for 2 weeks or more, you'd be pretty upset and you'd probably end that relationship because that's just unsustainable and unacceptable. However, if you're dating that guy and then 3 other guys and he doesn't contact you for 2 weeks or more, you're going to be like, I don't really care, simply because there's other men taking up your time. So when he comes back after 2 weeks, you're going to be like, sure, you can get back added to the roster. But in reality, you wouldn't actually accept that in a relationship or a talking stage if it was just you and him. Meaning, if he was just your partner and he did that when you guys were dating or married or whatever, you'd be very upset and you'd want to break up. So make it easy on yourself to recognize the guys that you're not looking for by dating one at a time. Unless you think you're a super powerful pro, whatever, then you can date 1,000, I guess. Let's go to our next one here. Why did it do that?
One day he's all over you.
We did this one yesterday. Let me refresh here. That's me. Okay, let's go here. Scroll down.
How are you a prize?
Buddy, we just did
You
it.
can still be controlling, but it has to be in a feminine form. Through your vulnerability. So, for example, like, if your man don't call or text and tell you...
This music is so loud, I don't want to get copywritten. But what she's saying here is talking about how to stay in control without, making it seem like you're in control.
Where he been? And you're usually, where you been? Why you didn't text me back? Where you been? Here's the feminine way to deal with that. When he walks in, be like this and crying.
What?
Why are you sad? What happened? Why are you crying? You didn't text me back.
What?
I thought something happened to you. I thought you were in a car accident. I didn't know what to think. You didn't text me back. And I was just like...
Chat, rate her acting skills scale of 1 to 10.
Does he still love me? Now, every time you text, he gonna imagine you crying. And it's going to hurt his heart. Because men don't like to see women cry, especially women.
Oh.
He gonna text you back. Now, if you sit up there, why you text me back? Who you was with? That's what he's gonna hear when he don't text you back.
Okay, my advice to you would be different than Shira's. I wouldn't advise you to use crying as a manipulation tactic to get men to feel pity for you and then text you back because they feel pity for you and imagine you crying. I will always tell you this, and I'm never going to move off this. My best advice to you when you're dating men is to, when you actually don't want that behavior to continue, is to fully withdraw yourself from those men, because you'll get the men understand it the most when you withdraw from them. When you withdraw from men, that's when they start to say to themselves, what's going on with her? Why did she do this? Why is she giving me space? She doesn't seem to care. She doesn't seem to be interested in me anymore. That's the only thing that men really understand. Everything else, like crying, being sad, complaining, it doesn't work. To me, and I'm telling you this as a man, it doesn't work. When you withdraw, it makes it seem like you don't care and you're indifferent, because that's the real opposite of love, indifference. So when you're indifferent to a situation and to a guy that you're talking to, that's when he starts to say, whoa, what's going on? I feel like, you don't like me anymore. I feel like, we're not on the same page anymore. Are you dating someone else? Are you with someone else? It's very strange.
Stop falling in love. I know that sounds crazy, but I was reading about love and I feel like we have it all backwards.
Why do these people put the music so loud you can barely hear them?
We are falling. When you are falling in love, you are falling out of who you are. When you have fallen for somebody, you start acting crazy, you start doing things for these people, you start destroying yourself, correct? Because you're in love with somebody and it becomes lustful and everything's instant gratification. And once that instant gratification is gone, there is no more, right? Which is why we should grow in love. I don't think falling in love should be a thing anymore. I think that's what we were programmed
I agree so far.
to do. Growing in love is actually getting to know somebody for who they are. Like, cut out all the lustful stuff. Cut out those things. Those have nothing to do with anything. We live in a world of instant gratification and we're not used to taking things slow. Try taking things slow. I love you.
Wow, that was pretty powerful. She was like talking to you when she said, I love you at the end there. I like what KD says here. KD says, essentially he's talking about growing in love versus falling in love, right? And falling in love can feel very much like the Disney princess story, like the fantasy where, oh my God, the moment we laid our eyes on each other, I felt like this was just such a magical moment and it swept me off my feet and it took me somewhere that I've never been before. I know. It feels great. Feels awesome. Feels like a fairy tale. But the reality of it is the men that you're meeting aren't subscribed or to that same fairy tale. They're also not Prince Charming. This also isn't a Wattpad story. So if you're going to live in that fantasy, the only men that you're going to be happy with are the men who can feed that delusion for you. But the reality of it is, unfortunately, the men who are going to feed that delusion of that fantasy, that Wattpad story, that, oh my God, like this is magical the moment we laid our eyes on each other, those men are usually trying to manipulate you with that fantasy. Because like KD said, real love is more like growing into it. Because I always talk to you guys about you're learning the other person, you're understanding them, you're seeing them in different situations and circumstances, you're getting to know how they fight, how they laugh, how they argue, how they love, how they're consistent or inconsistent. Like you're really understanding that other human being. And that process really never stops. Like you can never fully be the other human being, so you can never fully understand them. But you're always trying to learn more about them and how they think and what they want and what their desires are and their motivations. And so you're growing in love more every single day. I know that it almost requires like a rewiring of your brain, but stop thinking that love is meant to be like, I see you, I meet you, and it's the most intense when I meet you. And then after that, it's all going to go downhill from there. It's meant to be, I meet you, I like you, I think you're interesting, and I grow with you. And throughout the years, our bond grows closer. Throughout the years and situations and circumstances, I learn more about you and I feel more connected to you. That's what it's supposed to look like. You understand what I'm saying? When it can be sustained. Okay, now we can call it love when he's all obsessed with you in the first 30 seconds, but the reality of it is that's just not a really sustainable way to love someone, if that's what we want to call it, okay? At least not in my opinion.
When to give up on a man? When you start waiting. That's when you have to wait. When you have to remind him 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 times. When you have to ask him multiple times to do something that's simple. When you have to put in more effort into getting him to do something simple than you should. Thank you, I am magical, sprinkle, sprinkle. Because that means he don't respect you, respond to you, or even want to impress you anymore. So basically, you've lost your power. Okay? So when you give up, it doesn't mean you leave. It means you start finding another one, or you find another way to get what you need done, and you continue on and let him watch you get it done and let him wonder how you got it done, where you got the money from, et cetera, because you don't want to give up whatever he's doing for you because you're angry and upset. You're going to reap all benefits from every angle. But what you've done is you've given up on waiting on him to take care of certain things that he's no longer trying to take care of. And once he realizes that he's not needed, that's when he's going to want to feel needed again. So the next time you ask him to do something, he's going to get up and go get it done. Okay. So when I'm saying, when do you give up on a man? I'm not talking about when do you dump him. If he broke, you shouldn't be with him anyway. So we're not talking about that. You give up on trying to change them, trying to get them to do something when they're stalling. You've lost your power. Thank you, Queen Zada. You like my hair?
So, I think some of the things that she's talking about are quite important here, and I want to kind of go back on them.
To
and touch on
remind
them.
him 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 times. When you have to ask him multiple times to do something that's simple. When you have to put in more effort into getting him to do something simple, then you should.
So this is a very important point, because when you get into a relationship with a guy, even before that, you always want to be doing nothing, not only because that's the best way to go about it for his interest in you, but so that you can be gauging his level of willingness and desire to even be in this relationship. Because you don't want to put yourself in a situation. See, as a woman, you shouldn't have to beg and plead just to get very simple things. And so there has to be a level of desire he has to be with you, so that when you're in the relationship, you don't have to beg and plead for very simple things. And so what the point that Shira is making in this video is that if you find yourself in a relationship where you're having to beg and plead for simple things, that's a sign that that man doesn't even have the level of desire required for you guys to be in a sustainable relationship. Because the reality of it is, a sustainable relationship, or a healthy one, if we want to call it that, is meant to consist of you as the woman being able to just speak up for the things that bother you or the things that you need adjustments for, and him to be happy to make that adjustments, because happy wife, happy life. And when he subscribes to that and he wants your happiness and even puts it in front of his own, when you're uncomfortable or you're unhappy with the situation, he's always looking to adjust that or change that so that you're happy again. But a guy who doesn't have that level of investment in you and in the relationship, he's not going to want to make adjustments for you, not going to want to make changes for you. He's not going to want to do anything that you ask him to do. So just like Shira said, you're going to have to ask him 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 times in order just to get him to do it. But the reality of it is that's unsustainable, very unsustainable. Okay. And you're not going to be able to be in a relationship for very long where you have to beg and plead just for very simple things, unfortunately. Okay.
This is how you tell the difference between a man who wants a
it's Nico.
relationship versus a man with a roster. Welcome to the Daddy Academy. A man that has a roster, or has you on a roster spot, or he's just looking to casually hook up with you, you're going to hear from him and you're going to see him. It's just going to be inconsistent, and there won't be an alignment between his words and actions. Okay, for example, maybe you'll talk on like a Tuesday and there'll be some sort of exchange where you're like, let's do something this weekend, and be like, yeah, let's do something this weekend. And then the weekend comes and you do nothing. That is a man who knows how to feed you the right amount of breadcrumbs, right? Talk to you a lot. You'll hear from him a lot, but you're not going to see him a lot, right? So words, actions not aligning. A man that's pursuing you to be his girlfriend.
I like Nico, guys. Me and Nico, we should collab one time, because Nico, he's very clear, articulate. He doesn't have to do a bunch of cursing to get his point across. I like the way Nico talks. Okay.
Friend, if he says, I want to see you this weekend, he's going to make sure he sees you this weekend, or he's at least going to try. And I always say, right, in that first month of dating, 1 date per week. Okay, you want to see how a man is showing up for you over that extended period of time. Okay, that's how you could see truly what his intentions are, right? If you just let this guy take you out 3 times in 1 week, you have no idea what his true intentions are for dating you. Anybody could be free a few days in a row and go bam, 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 try to hook up with you and move on. If you make a man sort of earn the right to more access to you over a month, you can see how he's going to operate and whether his texting, what he says, and what he does is consistent. Anybody can be consistent if you hang out Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Okay, boom, 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 right? Is he consistent over a period of time, and is it ramping up? Is he making plans? Is he following through with the plans? Is he texting? Is he following through with what he said? You need to experience the guy over that period of time to sort of notice these things. So a man who wants to make you his girlfriend, he is going to check all these boxes. He's going to follow through with what he says. He's going to be consistent. The communication and the cadence of you seeing him is going to ramp up over time. A fuck boy or a guy with a roster is going to be inconsistent. He's going to say one thing, do something else. It's going to be wishy-washy, up and down, and you're going to be a little confused. This is how you tell the difference between a man who wants...
So I think Nico said some really great stuff here. And for those of you who are on TikTok wondering what his handle is, just go over to my YouTube stream because I'm live on YouTube, same time as TikTok. It's just Tomisin Atobatele. When you go on the YouTube stream, you'll be able to see his handle in the corners, like the Daddy Academy or something. Just for you guys who want to know that. Now, Nico, when he talks about this, I think that these are really good points, right? Because a lot of times... just like we talked about today with the dating apps and the quantity over quality that guys are really using on these dating apps, that can be very confusing to you because when you're building relationships with these guys, you're trying to understand why some of them are saying things and then not following through with them, right? And that's exactly the reason why I tell you less is always more. When you do less, you get an opportunity to read how much interest he has in you. When you start doing a whole bunch of things or you start feeling it, this is the worst mistake you can make. When a guy isn't following through, so for example, he talks about, let's say a guy plans with you on Friday, night, and then Friday night comes along and he doesn't say anything to you and he flops. You start thinking when it's like Friday afternoon, you start messaging him like, hey, are we still on tonight? We got this, we're going to there and we're going to there. Because you start thinking, oh, let me stimulate him remembering that he said we were going to go out on Friday night or we made this plan for Friday night. And then when you do end up going out with him, you're not going out with him because he actually had desire to be with you. You're going out with him because you messaged him and essentially reminded him about the date that he forgot about. So now you're out on a date with a guy you think likes you, but doesn't really have the level of interest required in you to actually build with you. And this is how you can, if you do that enough times, you can fall into a trap and a cycle of dating a guy, like actually dating and being a girlfriend to a guy who doesn't really have enough interest in you to pursue you from his own volition. Meaning if you just started doing nothing, there would be no relationship. If you stopped messaging him, there would be no messages. If you stopped calling him, there'd be no calls, FaceTimes, Hangouts, nothing. You're essentially carrying the relationship on your back, and you only realize that, months down the line when you're exhausted from being the boyfriend and the girlfriend, and then you start to say to yourself, okay, well, when is it my turn to be a girl now and be a girlfriend? And he's like, never. I'm supposed to get princess treatment forever. Not good.
Ladies, should you ever text him?
Let's not do two in a row. Let's do a Benny one.
There are only two fundamental truths to understand if he's interested in you. Only two.
Why does he talk like he's in a play all the time? I like Benny. It's like he's in a play every time.
Number one, does he ask you out? Does he take you?
I'm capping chat.
Ladies, there are only two fundamental truths to understand if he's interested in you. Only two. Number one, does he ask you out? Does he take you out? Are you guys going out together? Period, blank, end of story. And number two, is he committing to you? First, does he ask you out? Two, does he commit to you? Everything else under the sun, irrelevant, not interested. Oh, but we text all day, not interested. Unless he takes you out and then commits to you. Oh, but we talk on the phone for 4 hours a night, not interested. Unless he takes you out and commits to you. Oh, but I swear he tells me all this, and then he opens up to me, and then he told me about that. Not interested. Unless the first two things matter. We're in a long-distance relationship, and then he told me he was going to come see me in March. Not interested. Not interested. I'm going to make a shirt that just says not interested. Because unless those two things, I don't give a damn what he does. I don't care how much he flirts with you. I don't care how many hard eyes he leaves on your Instagram story. I don't care
how many times he likes your IG story, like he said, right? Don't care how many times he responds to your story. Don't care how many times he watches your story or how quickly he watches your story. Don't care how many times he checks your WhatsApp status. Don't care how many times he reposts videos that feel like they're, subliminals to you.
I don't care how much he watches your Instagram stuff. I don't care if he likes your TikToks. I don't care if he calls you 5 times a week. I don't care. Not interested. Unless he takes you out and then commits to you. Not interested. I hope this helps. Because I'm sick and tired of seeing you ladies get caught up in situations when all you have to do is look for the first 2 things. Does he ask you out? And is he committing to you? Everything else, irrelevant.
Now, obviously, committing to you is not going to happen instantly on the very first date. So that's something that he has to grow into that. Asking you out is obviously something that's going to happen. It's going to grow over time, and it's not going to happen all in one night. Okay. But just don't start. What Benny is trying to say is don't have your attention and your focus in all the wrong places, because this is the dangerous part. When your mind starts building a narrative that, oh, I really want this to work with this guy, and I really like this guy, and this needs to work because I want this guy. He's got a big schlong. He's got a nice smile. He's tall. He's handsome. He's dark. Everything is amazing. You start to build a narrative that everything he does to not show interest in you is justified for a different reason than the fact that he's just not interested in you. And you build that narrative because you don't want to believe in the idea that he's simply just not interested in you. And so you want to continue doing things that will help you see maybe he's interested, and you want to keep ignoring the signs that he might not be so interested. But you just end up in a jumbled up mess down the road and wondering why, hey, I've spent 6 months of my life with a guy who doesn't even want to date me. Tomisin, why is that? Well, did you actually gauge his interest from the beginning? Or did you start justifying the fact that he wasn't really showing you genuine interest because you wanted to believe in the idea that, like, no, we're going to be a thing. Even if he's not showing me that he wants it to be a thing for real, we're going to be a thing. Don't do that. Okay, chat? So with that being said, it is that time of the day. Okay? Do you guys know what time it is? Can you tell me in the chat what time it is? I need you to spam it. It's Friday, so we're going to have it right now. You better spam it in the chat so I know you know what time it is. I want to know if you know what time it is. Okay? It's an amazing time. It's an awesome time. Don't look at the clock. Don't look at your watch. Don't look at your phone. Don't look anywhere else in your home, because we're going to have a great time, an amazing time. You're going to laugh and you're going to cry. If you don't know what time it is still, I'm going to tell you. Okay, chat, let's hop into our Discord here. Enough foolishness for the day. Let's hop into our Discord here. For those of you who are new here and don't know what Discord time is, it's a great time. It's essentially where all the amazing members of the Discord get an opportunity to ask me a question about their situation or relationship, and I answer it live on the show. Now, you have multiple ways to send in your question. I'm going to go through them real quick with you, the different ways that you have to send in your question here. Make sure the Discord time is on the right time here. We got Discord time pulling up the different type of time on our chat. Let's put up the Discord. Okay, there we go. So Discord time is essentially where you guys can ask me questions of your relationship or situationship, and I answer them live on the show. So here's a few options to send in your question. So the first option here is to send it into our free section. Just go to the link in my bio on TikTok or the link in my description on YouTube. You send in your question, put it in our relationship advice form, and I answer it on a first come, first serve basis. Now, there are a lot of other questions I have to get to before I can get to yours, as you can see. And I have to start with the one that's over 30 days old. So it's going to take me a few weeks to get to yours if you put it in the free section today. Now, if you're impatient and you're like, Tomisin, I love you, but I can't wait weeks to get you to answer my question. You have another option. You can donate to the show and hop into Relationship Advice Premium, where you get to ask your question and I answer it. It's like a VIP pass at a theme park where you can skip the line and you don't have to wait a whole bunch of time to ask your question. You can just go right into, I answer these questions before I go into the free section, okay? So the way you access Relationship Advice Premium is simply by donating to the show through the link in my bio on TikTok or the link in my description. You click where it says Premium Relationship Advice Question. You ask your question, you donate to the show, and then it'll prompt you to send in a title of your question and your Discord username. That way I get a notification on my phone and I'm able to see what your question is and that it's you and verify that's you. And I keep it fair for everyone in the Discord so that random people aren't just throwing in their question without donating to the show, okay? If you are someone as well who wants to ask me a question, but you don't want your situation on Front Street, I also have an option to ask me a private relationship question. There's a link in the same Discord, or you have the link available in my TikTok bio or my YouTube description. Click where it says private relationship question, and then you click that link, you fill out the form, and you ask your question after you donate to the show as well, and I respond to you via your email with a voice message and an answer for your situation, okay? Let's start off with our first premium question here. So I did Kendra's this was a follow-up, so I just responded to her via voice message, and I did the same thing with Sis here, and I followed up with a voice message as well. So I don't want you guys to think I'm skipping people. So let's go up start off with Starshine, who says ego and perceived rejection. So Starshine says, please analyze and provide general clarity. I know he's not the one for me. I should just unsubscribe from the situation, forget, and move on. I'm interested in your psychological interpretation and insight. You must be a college student, okay? I like the way you be sending your messages. A lot of punctuation, a lot of correct spelling. I like that. Please help me understand what happened because I'm honestly curious and would like to take note of this moving forward. You be in class. I'm not even just talking about my class. You be in classy class. I can tell. You want to take notes. Obviously, no pineapples before commitment is the number one rule I know. I'm 26, he's 25, been dating since June. He's made multiple hints and jokes about being the only man I should be thinking about and going out with. He. That should be on my mind 24/7. He. Okay? You're never going to boost a guy's ego by acknowledging that I should always prioritize him, but he has not asked me to be his girlfriend, so just laugh it off. Irrelevant. No serious exclusivity or commitment talk has been initiated on his end despite multiple long, deep, and vulnerable talks. So the most recent time he tried to make a hint and fish for validation, I replied to him, but we're not even in a relationship. There was a big unspoken yet. Okay. Instead of stroking his ego, alleviating his anxiety, and confirming that he's my obsession, basically this happened over text. Since then, he's been playing a Cold War with me, not having reached out a single time since the last conversation. Totally ignore, not a single message, phone call, anything. Dead silence. Why? It was a very abrupt and unexpected change of pace. We were going on dates, hanging out, speaking over the phone, sending video updates of our days since May 2024 when he started pursuing me. I knew him, I think you meant to say, before we started dating. He is a very ego-driven and huge about the Sigma male mindset. So dumb. He's been talking to mutual friends about me when asked about how things are going with us. The vibe he gave off was emotional frustration, anger, discontent. He believes I have rejected him even though we've had pineapples twice. Huge mistake, I know. And things were going great otherwise. What is the closure I should give myself since he wants to punish me and break me with silence apparently? Okay. You don't need to give yourself any closure. well, I guess if you really want closure, the closure you can do is by unadding his number, unadding him on Snapchat, deleting him as a follower, and following him on Instagram, and moving forward with your life. I guess that's the closure you can have, but you don't need to message him. See, I laughed when you said Sigma male mindset, because this type of stuff, nothing wrong with respecting yourself. And I'm not going to say any way of living life is worse than the other, but when the ego becomes something so detrimental to your ability to like build relationships with people, it just becomes counterproductive, because, you know, a mindset where he can't even, a mindset where he's too ego driven to show like that he cares for a woman, because like that's some sort of sign of weakness, is ridiculous. And so if he can't be bothered to like, you've already slept with him, so it's not even like he doesn't have the validation of knowing that, like, of course you're interested in him and you've been vulnerable with him. If he needs so much validation that every moment you get, you have to be like, oh my God, you're the best thing since sliced bread. Oh my God, I'm obsessed with you. Oh my God, I would never speak to another man or talk to another man else. Like, you have to realize that avoiding dating those type of men is actually a blessing to you, because if this man needs that much, I guess we could call it validation, that he needs you to, at every chance he gets, confirm that, oh my God, you would never even possibly thinking about another man. Even the thought of thinking about another man makes you, like, this type of over-the-top tough stuff that it seems like he's expecting with this mindset, this mindset that you're talking about, just concerns me, because that's really unsustainable, right? Are you not supposed to ever be honest about your feelings or opinions or perspective because it doesn't align with what he wants, or it doesn't align with like worshiping him? That's ridiculous. Okay. You're a woman and you're an individual. Your life can't be like dedicated to just worshiping him at all times, and stroking his ego at all times, because then where's the space for you to be honest about your opinion or perspective? There is none. And so stuff like that is just, that's unsustainable in itself. And I call that lack of emotional maturity, because it, like, what's supposed to like, what really is he expecting you to say? Right? He, like you said, he was fishing for validation, and you said, but we're not even in a relationship. And if that hurts his ego so much that he doesn't message you simply because you're stating the obvious, especially the obvious that he's in control of, that's not a you problem. Okay. That's an emotional maturity problem on his own part, because you didn't say anything offensive to him, and you didn't say anything that's untrue here. And you also didn't even say anything that he's not in control of, because if he wanted to commit to you, he would just do that. So don't let guys fool you into feeling bad about just stating the obvious, okay? You aren't a bad person because you stated the obvious and just said what literally was happening, which is the fact that, you know, you guys aren't in a relationship. So why would you be going about this as if you're in a relationship when you're not? He's in control of that. Not that, you know, you have to say, oh, well, I'm going to do whatever I want, I'm going to do this and do that. But like, if he's saying, oh, you should only be thinking about me, you should only want me 24/7, right? I should be on your mind 24/7. You should only be thinking about me. You should only want me. I'm the only man in your life. Only man. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, that, it's gross, because he's saying all that and then he's not willing to talk about committing to you. So what does any of that mean? He just wants to be worshipped by you, but not actually put any effort into you. Ridiculous. Don't bother. What closure do you need with a man that you wouldn't even build a good relationship with? None. If you want closure, close his username from your Instagram, close his number off of your phone, close his WhatsApp, close his Snapchat, close all them apps that you have his contact on, close them off. And once you close all of them off and throw them in the trash, close off the pictures, close off all the videos you have with them, Snapchat memories, close all of those down. And I promise you, you'll have the closure that you need, okay? Because you have to understand, certain types of people you'll meet, certain types of men that you'll meet, and characters that you'll meet, personalities, they are personalities that are unsustainable for relationships. So what happens with men and women, but in this case, we're talking mostly about men. What happens with men is there is a percentage of them, a large percentage of them, that have either personality traits or character traits that make being in a relationship with them unsustainable. They either learn to fix those things so they can build sustainable relationships, or they just never fix them and they never have happy, sustainable relationships. But you can't be the person that keeps yourself in pain and misery trying to force yourself to be in a relationship with a guy who has one of those character traits that makes a relationship unsustainable. Because a relationship, even if he did message you and you're in a relationship like this with him, he wouldn't allow you to speak your mind on anything, because anything that's not worshiping him at the ground that he walks on, anytime you have an opinion or perspective that he doesn't agree with, he's going to take it so offensively because he doesn't even see you as a whole individual. Okay. And that's a problem. That's a problem. We don't want that for you. Okay, so let's hop right into our free section here where I'm going to answer some questions. So let's start off with Roxanne. So Roxanne says, help. Okay, he says he loves me. We are long distance. He spends the weekend with me, then ghosts, but now is liking my posts. Okay, here's the thing. And Benny actually just said what applies to you, Roxanne. A guy saying he loves you doesn't actually mean what you think it means. I'm confused. You say you're long distance, but he spends the weekends with you. But ghosting you, right? So assuming you mean ghosting you, so like anytime you guys aren't spending time together, he doesn't talk to you at all. That's not a good thing, right? And now, sorry, you're saying then he ghosts you, but now he's liking your posts. Very simple, Roxanne. You forget about him. Okay? Because what are you going to do? You're going to message him? No. You're going to call him? No. You're going to like try to meet up with him or show up at his place? No. Your place is not to start taking action to try to get this guy to remember you. If he was spending weekends with you, right? Or all weekend with you, he knows who you are. He knows what your name is. He has your contact info. He knows how to get a hold of you. So if he wanted to do that, he would. And use the fact that he's not doing that as a sign that he's not that interested in doing that. I know it's painful to accept, Roxanne, but you have to realize you are only going to put yourself in more pain trying to force a relationship with a man who is clearly showing you he's not interested. That doesn't even make you a bad person. Doesn't make you unattractive or anything. It just makes you human, but you have to understand you can only do so much to the point where there's no more left for you to do. Okay. Simply Ellie says, stand up, Roxanne. You got to. Okay. Let's go to our next one here. So we had Roxanne. Now we got Jackie. Oh, did I do this one? I think I did. Yeah, I did do that one. Now we got Jackie. Jackie says ghosting or confused. Okay. Jackie says, I met a guy on a dating app in February. He's staying abroad. We recently met. He stayed over. We had pineapples and spent 5 great days together. For example, a romantic weekend away, doing fun activities together. I arranged everything. We shared a lot of emotional, spiritual, fun, and romantic moments together. We even prayed together. After the 5 incredible days, chat, I was so deep into the story, I didn't even realize what she said. Dating app in February, recently met, he stayed over, we had pineapples. I'm confused, Jackie. I'm confused. We're going to give this story the attention that it needs. Let's start over from the beginning. I met a guy on a dating app in February. What did we just talk about with dating apps? I hope you're here. We recently met. So it hasn't been very long. So this is the first time you're meeting him now, because you're meeting him on a dating app. We had pineapples. So on the very first day, You guys had pineapples after meeting on a dating app. Then you spent 5 great days together. I arranged everything. Are you flexing, Jackie? Are you flexing that you were doing everything? We shared a lot of emotional, spiritual, fun, and romantic moments together. We even prayed together. After talking about giving yourself away to this man on the first day of meeting him, you're flexing the fact that you prayed together. After 5 incredible days, he ignored me. He had a bachelor's weekend with 0 signal. I understood before the weekend he sent me a follow request on IG. After his bachelor weekend, he spent the night before traveling back. We obviously had pineapples again. Let me take a stretch, guys. Let me take a stretch. I'm already seeing that this is gonna stress me out, so let me take a stretch. Oh God. Oh my God. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. She's flexing. She planned everything. She's flexing that we prayed together after I slept with him. Let me take a lap, in fact. Just ridiculous. Just ridiculous. I don't know. Where did they do that at? What type of flex is that? What type of flex is that? Nah, what type of flex is this? I got him a few road trip snacks. Are you actually bragging about this? After he got back, he explained how amazing the snacks were, how much he missed me, and how crazy he is about me. The next few days, he started messaging me once a day, and it's been a week, and I haven't heard anything from him. He ghosted me. I deleted his number. However, he is still following me on Instagram. I'm confused. I feel used. Should I reach out? I sent the last message and he didn't reply. I want clarity. Should I block him? Does he miss me? What? He explained how much he enjoyed his weekend with me, and the drip finally stopped. Jackie, have you at all watched my show? You made a lot of mistakes here. Let me be straight up with you, because I think that's what you need. The reason he enjoyed the weekend is because he jackrabbited himself inside of you for 90 seconds. That's why he enjoyed the weekend. Going over to a girl you've never met before's place and sleeping with her on the very first night that you even meet her. He doesn't even know your last name. Sleeping with a girl you just met on the very first night you meet her, that's exhilarating and exciting. That's why he enjoyed his time. He got to put in 0 effort, do nothing for you, and get everything out of you. That's what makes the time amazing. Not you. Okay? Not to say you're a bad person. I'm just helping you understand what was fun for him was using you, not spending time with you. Because if spending time with you was really that fun, trust me, he would have been back for more. Okay? He stayed with you for the 5 days that it was convenient and fun to sleep with you some more, get it out of his system, and then he went on with his life. And like you said, he's staying abroad. So this is long distance. Don't fool yourself. The guy staying abroad who sleeps with you is not going to go back to abroad and be thinking about how to, Jackie, He doesn't like you. He doesn't like you. He doesn't want to build anything with you. He doesn't miss you. He's not thinking about you. I'm saying this so that you can, I want to stop feeding any delusions that you have. Jackie, this guy doesn't like you. He's not thinking of you. He doesn't miss you. He's not, wanting to pray with you some more. It's done. If he does hit you up, it'll be to sleep with you again, and that only. He can talk about, he likes spending time with you and he likes this and he likes that and blah, 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 blah. It's just because he wants to sleep with you again. And him wanting to sleep with you again is not even representative of him actually liking you. I need you also to understand he can want to sleep with you again and actually despise you or hate you. He can want to sleep with you again and actually have no respect for you. It's simply just a process of having a warm body to wank himself off inside. I don't want to be mean to you. I just want to kill your delusion here. Because I feel like your delusion will carry you into a dark place and you'll start doing some really silly stuff if your delusion takes you too far. Don't make any mistake. This guy's not thinking of you outside of just being able to use you for what he used you for. And he has no intention of building anything with you if he's not going to be able to continue using you. And he doesn't even care to respond or reply to anything. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. Doesn't care. Doesn't care. Not even in the slightest. It was probably a fun little story for him to tell his boys on his bachelor weekend. And honestly, I haven't responded to your message in like a month. He's probably already forgotten about it by now. If I probably brought up your name, he probably would say, "Who? Jackie, who? The girl that you went abroad and you slept with." "Oh, that girl. Yeah, I haven't spoken to her in like a month. I don't even remember what she was like, but it was a great time." I can assure you, he probably doesn't even remember. Like he's probably so removed from that, he's on to other things. I'm not saying this to try to hurt your feelings, Jackie. I have to pull you out of the delusion. Like when a guy treats you like this and you think at all, like when a guy treats you like this and you're even asking, does he miss me? Your delusion has taken you to places that are very dark. Okay? That guy does not miss you. Not even a little bit. Okay? Doesn't care about you, not even a little bit. Doesn't think about you, not even a little bit. So yes, I think you should block him, not for him, for yourself, so that your delusion can't feed itself anymore. Because see, when your delusion becomes very strong like this, you can start thinking that he's posting stuff for you. And, he's going out with another girl on a dinner date to make you jealous. And everything that he's doing and posting and saying and liking is all for you. You'll start thinking that his TikTok reposts are about you. And your delusion will take you so far and spiral you so out of control. You'll start convincing yourself that this is all a plot to show you how much he likes you. Do not do that, Jackie. That's a very dangerous place to be in your delusion. Just block him on everything. And block his number and delete his pictures and the videos and delete the memories of you guys praying together. If he prayed on a prayer mat with you, get rid of that prayer mat. Use a different prayer mat. I'm so serious. Get rid of anything just so you don't have to continue feeding the delusion that there's ever the day where this is going to continue. Okay. Let's do our next question here. Our next question comes from, let's see. Our next question comes from Amara, okay? I like that name. Amara says, spending without getting the squirtle yet, willing to lose you. What? Okay. Hello, I'm Melody, 27-year-old female. So this fine young, I think you should say man, came to my office some time ago for a pedicure. He is super nice and tried wooing me. I wasn't interested at first, but he was quite consistent and generous. He doesn't call on the phone, but makes sure gifts get to me. And whenever he comes for a pedicure, I get extra cash. He lives in another state, very far from me, but he comes for business trips once in a while in the state where I live and work. We haven't finished our story here, but it sounds like he could be married. Chat, are we saying married or unmarried? Let me know in the chat. What do you guys think so far? In one of our discussions, he mentioned that he is very busy and hardly communicates through phone calls. Chat, are we saying married or unmarried? Which one? According to him, he wants to build a good life for himself and a future family. I'm quite busy myself, so I don't see it as a problem. We have gone on a date, and the man is very intelligent and interesting. He went back to his state of residence the next day. He calls once in a month, and he calls once in a month or two and chats on WhatsApp whenever he can. I'm going to ask you again, chat. Are we saying married or unmarried? He makes sure that I'm in a good place financially, and he never asks for pineapples. In fact, he admitted that he has been celibate for 3 years now. With passing of time, what are we saying? Married or unmarried? With passing time, I started liking him more and needing a little bit more attention from him. He kept making promises to call, which he never fulfilled. Chat, are we saying married or unmarried? One day, I got mad and requested to get a detailed information about his day-to-day activities to know why I can't hear from him for weeks or months. He got mad and decided to end the relationship. Chat, are we saying married or unmarried? I had to apologize for my outburst, but he wasn't having it at all. He wanted an out as he is still focused on work and things that bring him money. I do not understand why he could spend so much and still willing to let me go even though we never had pineapples. Secondly, I'm attracted to this man. He ticks my boxes. I'm so confused. His birthday is coming up. Is it ideal that I call him to wish him well? This submission here is a prime reason exactly why we do this, and I'm so glad that this is here and we're reading this together because I love this. I love this for multiple reasons. One, Melody, you're gonna get a very clear understanding of what's going on, not just from me. You're gonna see how obvious it is to other people, but also for the rest of the chat and everyone else watching this, you get to see a firsthand example of how when you're in it, your delusion can play such crazy tricks in your mind that the really obvious answer doesn't seem very obvious to you. Because I thought she would actually address the obvious. But sometimes when you're in it, you're looking at everything that wants you to believe in, that is building the narrative to get you to believe in something else. But when you start getting good at being able to recognize the patterns in not just your own life, but when you're watching this and you see patterns and you're able to start, putting two and two together, you get good at being able to read and decode men's actions without having to play a whole bunch of guessing games here. Okay? So those of you who have probably spent a lot of time with me in the Players Club probably already came to the same conclusion, which is that he's married. Okay? It's pretty straightforward here. I think both me and everyone else in the chat who's spent a lot of time here knows and can tell that he's married. Why? Because this is the most logical explanation for any man who is hot and cold like this, especially when you start talking about he lives in another state and he comes here for business trips, and that's when he interacts with you. That's because he's married. When he goes home and he's not chatting with you and he's very weird and very, inconsistent through phone calls and he can't talk for weeks at a time, that's because he's with his wife. So when he's with his wife, he can't talk to you on the phone. Obviously, that would be inappropriate. He doesn't want to get a divorce and he doesn't want his wife to catch him talking to you on the phone. So I say, and on top of that as well, he has no intention of seeing you in the near future. So why would he be talking to you on the phone like he's trying to build a relationship with you? He only wants to get attention from you and give you attention when he's already going to be in your state. Think about that, okay? He's gone for the weekend, he's gone for the week or whatever on the business trip. So he wants you to be like his little business trip wifey that he can go to whenever he goes to a business trip in that town. If he has a job where he has to visit that town or that state very frequently, like truthfully because of business or because of work, yeah, he wants you to be there just for him to have fun with whenever he's there. Now, he might not have offered you pineapples or asked for pineapples yet at that time, but I can assure you that will eventually become that. Either way, I can guarantee you he's married. Okay? Guaranteed. That is exactly why guys this age in situations like this are aloof and very inconsistent. And as soon as you begin, take notice of the fact that as soon as you begin to question things, and specifically as soon as you began to question him, he immediately got mad at you and ended the relationship. Because now that he knows you're questioning things, he's going to know that you're going to start digging for answers. And if you start digging for answers, you're going to figure out that he's married. And he doesn't want you to mess up his marriage. So he doesn't want you going on LinkedIn and going on Facebook and finding him and figuring out that he's married and then messaging his wife. So he's getting mad and he's ending the relationship so that he doesn't have to ever, fall victim to you finding out that he has a wife and then messaging his wife or anything like that. Okay? Which is exactly why he responded that way. Think about that logically. He's been treating you well, and then when you ask him why he doesn't message you for weeks or months, he gets mad. Does that even seem logical? No, it doesn't. If he really likes you, it doesn't. Okay? Someone said side chick. I wouldn't even call this a side chick. Okay? I wouldn't even call this a side chick because at least the side chick at least knows that he's married. I don't even know what to call this. You're nothing to him. No diss. You're nothing to him because he doesn't even want you to know about the wife. So you can't even call yourself a side chick. Okay? He wants you to know nothing. He just wants to play around with you. Sometimes, what I want you to understand, Melody, sometimes you have to understand guys are just going to show you attention for the cheap thrill of it. And it's funny, you talk about this when you're going to get a pedicure. I was just going to get a pedicure like a couple of days ago. And a guy was doing some heavy flirting with one of the girls who was getting a pedicure. I just be in and out. I don't have time for all the BS, okay? But the guy beside me was, doing some heavy flirting with the girl who was giving him a pedicure to the point where he was literally like, oh, I got to take you out on a date. I got to do this. I got to do that. But you have to understand, even men as well, there's times where they just like the fun and the thrill of being able to flirt and, say, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. We should date, we should do. And there's a lot of times where they're just like, guys aren't going to do anything. Like they're not going to follow through with any of that. So you can't be so deprived of happiness or excitement in your life that when a guy just says, oh, me and you, we going to do this and we going to do that, that you start hanging on to every word and hoping that he follows through with it, right? And that you're so sad when it doesn't happen. Like that's why you have to make your life so full that when guys start saying that and feeding you the BS, you just don't care. Like you genuinely don't care because it's like, cool, if you want to do that, then I'm sure you'll do it. If you don't, I don't care still. Like my life is still good whether you're in it or not, right? Because in situations like this, you're hanging on to every word he says and he's not even taking it seriously, right? He's not even taking it seriously. So I say that to say don't take anything that he's saying seriously. It's not, okay? Let's go on to our next question here, which comes from, let's just see here. Let's see. Comes from nicotine abuser. Wow, that's a tough name there. Okay. Nicotine abuser says the current guy, 22, that I'm going out with, who's also 22, is the love of my life. I haven't felt this way about anyone else, but I wanted to ask you how I should tell him a couple small secrets that I have. I don't want him to overreact first. I have 2 different baby daddies. in 2 different cities. I ghosted them so he doesn't have to worry about them. Another small thing, I had pineapples with a guy from work, not because I liked him. He bought me food, and one thing led to another, and it just happened. I'm going to get up and take a stretch shot. I have to. I don't know what's going on with the questions today. I have to. I'm going to do a big stretch. I'm going to do like downward dog or something just to relieve the stress. Oh, okay. Oh. Oh my God. Breathe in. Breathe out. Okay. Oh, God. Oh, my God. So your main issue here is that he doesn't know you have 2 kids with 2 baby daddies. Then your second issue B, or 1B, is you had pineapples with a guy from work. But I shouldn't worry. It's not because you actually like the guy from work. It's because he bought you food. I'm not sure why you structured your sentence that way, as if that made it better. That you slept with him not because you liked him, but because he bought you food. Why did you structure your sentence that way? This is not a diss, but like I just don't understand. Like, why were you making it seem as if him buying you food was the justified reason to sleep with him? And you know what? Maybe I'm stupid. Chat, please explain to me. Because I'm just a man, right? Explain to me, is there like a logical explanation of how things escalate from a guy buying you food to sleeping with him? I would love to know like how that escalates, because I don't think I've ever bought a girl food like just randomly at work and I've slept with her from just buying her food. I don't even know Wattpad stories that escalate that way. So I would love to know if this is like a regular occurrence and I'm just living some sort of like weird life that other people don't live. Because in my world, my neck of the woods, I've never bought a girl food that I work with and then we sleep together just because I buy her food. I don't know. Maybe I don't know what type of food you eating. I don't know if you meant by food you meant a honey pack that he bought you. Maybe he bought you a honey pack and he bought himself some Viagra. I don't know what he bought you that led to that. Maybe I'm confused. But the real thing I'm worried about is that I have to tell him my dad isn't really my dad. It's my sugar daddy that pays for everything I do. Chat, I'm gonna get up and take another second here, cause Oh boy. You know what? You really can't. You can't make this stuff up. You really can't. So the guy he thinks is your dad is actually your sugar dad. let's go on. I can't even comment. Let's just go on. I really need your help to explain to him I love him and just want to make this work. By the way, he blocked me after I said I don't want to do but I was down. I was just scared how he'd react to my flat booty. I want him back. He had the best D game. What the hell are you talking about? Like, what the hell are you talking about? No, what the hell are you talking about? Nah, like, for real. I don't want to go to my old self and be on the corner begging for old cigarettes. Okay. Nicotine abuser. I don't want you on the corner begging for cigarette butts either. I especially don't want your flat booty out there in the cold begging for cigarette butts. You're gonna get very cold very fast because you have no booty meat. So you're gonna start shivering really fast. Nicotine abuser. If you want honesty and openness from the people you're dating, you're gonna have to start giving that. What you give out into the universe, you're always gonna receive back. Right now, you're not living your life congruent to being able to build any relationship. There's not a crime to have 2 baby daddies or children, but you should be upfront and honest with that with any man that you're dating. I think any man that you're dating or thinking about dating deserves to know that you have 2 baby daddies and 2 children. That's your life, okay? And you can't be ashamed of the life that you live. You can't undo that. You're better off building with people who accept you for who you are and the life that you have than trying to hide it from them. Second thing here is, unfortunately, you put yourself in that conundrum of, having him think that your sugar dad is actually your dad. So the way out of that is to be honest about the fact that you lied. And just tell him that I shouldn't have lied, but my sugar dad is not my dad. It's my sugar dad. That's the only way to get out of this situation. However, you did say that he blocked you. So you're not going to be able to message him to even tell him that. So I'm going to make this really simple for you. I don't want to be mean to you. Just leave the situation alone. It's done. Okay? And it's going to be done for good. I don't even want you to continue embarrassing yourself. You've made this really bad already. I want you to move forward. And in the future, I just want you to be honest about your life. Just be honest. Be honest about how many children you have. Be honest about your baby daddies. Be honest about who your actual dad is. Just be honest with people. Okay? And if you're finding it hard to be in relationships when you're honest with people about your life, then you might have to reevaluate the things that you're doing. If the guys you're dating don't want to date you because you have a sugar daddy, maybe you should rethink having a sugar daddy. If you don't want to rethink having a sugar daddy, then don't worry about dating. But you can't be upset if the men that you date have a particular preference and they don't want their girlfriend or the girl they're dating to have a sugar daddy. That's not a crime. It's a preference. But I feel like if this is you and this is what you want to stand on and this is, like that represents you well and you don't want to change, You don't have to change, but what you should be is honest with the people around you and the people that you're dating so they can accept you for who you actually are and not who you pretend to be. Because I'm never going to advise you guys to lie or pretend to be someone that you're not. Okay? But all in all, I think this ship has sailed with this guy. And I honestly don't think you need to embarrass yourself anymore. Truthfully. All right, chat. That's the show for today. If you guys have any more questions for me that you want to get answered pronto, please send in a question into our premium Discord or our private relationship question. If you have a private one for me, I'm answering a bunch of private questions today. So send yours in so I can answer it by this weekend. And you guys can always get access to premium questions and private questions by the link in my bio on TikTok or the link in my description, and you guys can choose an option to submit to me there, okay? That's the only place. By the way, guys, those are the only places where I answer questions. So if you guys have a question for me, because I want to answer your questions thoroughly and extensively and detailed, submit it. And if you want it to be private, it's fine. Submit it through the private question so that I can answer it in detail. When you guys send me a one sentence question, I'm never going to be able to give you the proper detail required to answer your question honestly. Okay? Nicole donates $20 in the YouTube chat. She says, I needed that laugh. Stretch as often as needed. And have an awesome weekend. We love you, Tomisin. Thank you for everything. LOL. Thank you, Nicole. I really appreciate you. Like one of the top gifters. So I appreciate you so much. All right, guys. For those of you who are wanting to follow me on Instagram, my Instagram is just Tomisin_Atub on the top left corner of the screen there. You can follow me, or it's at the bottom right. If you're on YouTube, you can follow me on Instagram and see everything that I'm up to, get a little bit more up close and personal with me. For those of you who are on TikTok and you want to rewatch the live stream in its entirety because you came late or you missed some parts, it's right above my head. It's just my name, Tomisin Atobatele. Type it in on YouTube. Go to the live section of my YouTube page and you'll be able to see this live stream along with all the other ones I've done since the beginning of time. And you'll be able to see the YouTube and TikTok chat embedded in the video so you don't miss even a second of conversation, okay? Today was an interesting one. I know Electric Field said you gave us the deets. Today was an interesting one. You know, I brought out the video cart, and we went straight into enemy territory there. So I hope you guys learned something. It's obviously here for you guys to replay whenever you want. All right. I'm here every weekday, Monday to Friday. So obviously I'm not going to be here tomorrow. Tomorrow's Saturday, but I will be back on Monday. And of course, I'll be posting on my YouTube channel, on my main channel, edited videos as well for you guys to watch as well. So until we meet again, au revoir, hasta la vista, sayonara, ciao, adios, arrivederci, I said au revoir already, bon voyage, and I will see you again on Monday. Until then, we'll see each other on probably YouTube, so follow my YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube, okay? And I'll see you again on Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I love you so much, okay? It won't be long before we see each other again. Just go to sleep for a couple of hours.